Here we are. Can you hear me? Mic check. Philodendron. Philodendron. Mic check. Philodendron. Ah. What's up, Abel? We wive. We wive. We wive. Salute. Game day. Gains day. Sorry. Anazi, what's up, AD? I'm seeing signs of recession here. A couple stores I often frequent have demanded folks leave their bags at the front for the first time ever. Seems like there seems like thefts are on the rise. Yeah. Yeah, man. The world is starting like all that COVID shit and that whole year off that motherfuckers took and tried to like make that shit softer. All that shit is finally starting to show. And to be honest with you, like I had always kind of paid attention to that. I always seen it coming, like just based off the math. Like based off the math before COVID. Before COVID happened. I want to say it was like 50% of people didn't have $800 in the bank in case of an emergency kind of thing. Like most people, the vast majority of people were living just over month to month at best before COVID. And then when COVID hit, the whole world essentially took a fucking break, right? And somebody's bills kept piling up off that break, right? Some money had to come from somewhere, and it's finally starting to show. Like for example, I'm kind of scared to get the electric bill here because the word on the street is that the electric bill is finally coming. It comes like once a year, like one final major payment. And like people say, yeah, it's like $2,000 extra on top of what they was paying every month for it. And well, that, especially in Europe after Ukraine happened, y'all motherfuckers start claiming you wanted to print off money and all that shit and get all this money after COVID. Yo, like it's time. It's about time for that. That money didn't just come out of nowhere. It was coming. It's on its way. That money like the whole theory, because I remember during COVID, that was just a ridiculous. These are just ridiculous theories that came up. It's like because for a while, many people didn't get any more stipends. I think America, many countries, people got like a stipend kind of thing, but many people didn't get a stipend very long. And how do you okay? Here's the thing: even if landlord said, okay, look, well, we won't ask for rent for the next 3 months, just pay it back later. Like, yo, these motherfuckers didn't look. Just the sheer base level of math that to even come up with something like that to come out your mouth says a lot. Like, I stay so stuck in my own bubble that I don't I tend to forget just how dumb motherfuckers are on earth. And that's where I'm not saying this dude's dumb either. I'm not saying that. I haven't even watched his video yet. But just like the theories on earth and how shit plays out, like I didn't think motherfuckers could really be like that dumb. Now, the reason why I'm covering this military video is because I just got done dealing with my VA counselor, and then I had to call my dad because I was so fucking like pissed. The only thing that makes me pissed is just sheer stupidity. Again, I don't know this guy. I haven't even watched his video. It has nothing to do with him. I just want to see what he's going to say because I think the U.S. military is either paying these people to say nice shit about the military, or they're trying to like scoop up naive young people, to get views and to get and to come into the military shit. They, like an indirect fucking what's that shit? Cutco knives and shit. It's Cutco knives. But I just got done dealing with my VA counselor, man. And let me tell you something. If I didn't know the rules and the games, I would be fucked. If I did not know, if I didn't work in the VA myself and work directly with with people in this exact office myself, if I didn't work with the head of Ohio, literally right next door to where I was working, and heard them stories and seen the people who she was hiring, why she wanted to hire, why she didn't, and she showed me those resumes or CVs for people outside the U.S. And I got and I lived in that shit for maybe like 2 years, and I got this, and I still talk to some of them to this day. If I didn't live in that white collar side of the military, and I know what you can and what you can't, and what's gonna work and what's not gonna work type of shit on a white collar level, I'd be fucked right now, dude. My asshole would be open for the world right now. Listen to them fucking assholes in there. Now, again, I don't know him and nothing like that. I'm talking about dealing with my VA counselor. The shit that she's pulling is absolutely ridiculous. But the only reason why I'm able to stand up and fight it is because I have the laws actually bookmarked in one of my web browsers for the exact dilemma that I'm going through, right? And two, I worked in that office and I know what the reality was going on, right? So quick backstory on me. I was supposed to be going to Florida in about a week or two. Well, she fucked it up. My VA counselor completely, horrifically fucked it up because she didn't want to listen to me, right? And I'm gonna disclose some information, right? Due to how much it's gonna cost. Okay, so step one. This is the reason why I tell everybody who even thinks about going to the military. On fucking day one, when your motherfucking ass gets looking back in hindsight now, on day motherfucking one, when you get off that bus at Paris Island, say, "Ooh, I got a headache." I got a headache. And take your ass and look, when you get your ass into the military, go to medical as much as possible, because all of them gonna try to talk you out of it. For one or two reasons, right? One reason, if it's another Marine or Army or whatever, if it's just a regular old dude in there, see, that's the blue collar fool, right? Okay, so when you go to the military, here's how it's gonna play. They're gonna bust you in and you can get out and all that shit, and they take you in, onboard you and all that, right? Now here's the reality people don't want to talk about, but this is the reality, right? Because again, I worked at the VA and I went to the military. I didn't last long, but I did go and I got to see it, right? See, those drill instructors and all them motherfuckers, those are people who drink the Kool-Aid. The majority of them are the people who drink the Kool-Aid. So they're going to talk you out of going to medical because they drink the Kool-Aid on being tough. Right? You gotta be tough. See, they drink that Kool-Aid. That's why they'll talk you out. And then the white collar people want to talk you out of going to medical because they know that it's going to be a bad look on them, because if you go to medical, there's a good chance you'll get disability when you get out for the rest of your life. And guess what? The military never sends people out to your home to check on you if you're actually hurt. Once you get that percentage, you good. They never check on you or anything. You get that money for the rest of your life. Unless you do something ridiculously crazy to fuck it up, right? So if you younger and you watch me and you think about going to the military, motherfucker, when you get within the first week, just look, you gonna be scared, right? Because they industrial strength crazy, at least in the Marines, right? but you should make it your goal to get the medical at least 3 times over the course of 2 weeks. Go there with the 80 action plan. In 2 weeks, get the medical 1 time a week. Just saying, look, I got a headache. My eye itches. I need to go to medical. My eyes itching a little too much. Anything, right? Go. Get that shit documented. Motherfucker, if you don't get out of boot camp and don't have a magazine length of ailments, you failed. All right? Let them call you they gonna call you a pussy, all that shit. And you know, cause get this, when I was in there, they called me, okay, well, they didn't really call me a pussy, but they started looking down on me because I literally couldn't get out the fucking bed because my back was just shot, right? But see, all the motherfuckers in there who looked at me and thought I was like some weaker dude, right? I got out, and guess what? I'm still getting checks. A lot of motherfuckers, they got out, they driving Uber right now. They doing Uber Eats deliveries and shit. They sit up on YouTube about, the military, we got bombed. I didn't get any money because I tried to be tough and all this shit. Yeah. See, that's where they end up. And I felt bad about that. I felt bad about that live stream I did with that woman talking about. I think she got her leg cut off or something like that, which is fucked up. But I felt bad because here's the thing. I feel, and I probably won't leave this up too long because I feel I don't know how to communicate this well. Ultimately, I feel bad for people who are in the military. I feel sorry for them because that's just a complete mind fuck. It's just a complete mind fuck. And I was talking to my dad earlier about it, and I was explaining to him because look, the reality of anybody who goes anywhere near the military, 9 times out of 10, is because the military is a poverty draft. It's what it's been ever since I think the 1600s. The military is a poverty draft. Once I want to say it was 15, 1600. I might be a little off with that, but once it was realized that chariots were no longer needed and actual merit was actually more responsible for winning wars instead of just being rich and being able to own your own chariot. That's when merit took over and just physical strength and military planning actually completely started to legitimately dominate on larger scales, right? So the richer people realize, look, we don't want to die. We'll just send you out there to die. And then that's how it shifted. So the military is essentially 9 times out of 10 is going to be a poverty draft for whoever ends up going. Right. And once you start off from that position, there's a good chance the vast majority would just never hit a certain mental level of development. I'll say the vast majority for one reason or another. Like I said a while back, people go to the military, people who became parents, and people who went to prison. What they all have in common is when they get out of there, they're mentally the same age that they were when they went in. They don't know. It's like they don't notice time. They didn't. I mean, they might have developed in some other ways, but overall, like they're still mentally the age they were when they went into that, right? But yeah, I was talking about that. Yeah, it's a poverty draft. So here's the thing. The reason why like VAs be getting shot up and shit like that, like I get it. Because again, I used to work there. I know how they be. I know how they in there throwing around veterans. And I'm not saying some veterans can be legit off, but they also throw around a lot of people. And again, I worked in there, man. They would give me all the crazy ones because they couldn't handle them, right? When I was there, they would give me I remember this. I still remember this one dude, man. I still remember this dude. This white dude, man. He had black hair. I still remember him. He came and he's about my age. He came okay, I was an assistant. I was a grad assistant at the time. And I was working with her name was Lynn, and we're still friends to this day. And he comes back there and he's like mad to the point I'm even like a little like shook by this dude, right? I'm legit a little shook by him because he's mad, right? He's mad because the VA's been telling him all types of ridiculous shit. They've been tossing him around, throwing him around. So I end up talking to him. Immediately recognized what it was. Like, look, you gotta like when you get these type of people, you have to just tell them directly straight. Stop dancing around fucking faggot white collar bullshit and tell it straight up to them what the deal is, what they gotta do, and if they don't do it, well, it's on them, right? Because the problem is, by the time people end up working in the VA, the VA has its own issue with money, in my opinion. So the VA, in my opinion, by the time a person is like full time working in the VA, it's usually made up of like 2 or 3 people. One is it's made up of actual military veterans who had they had a higher set of points, so they would be looked at as a better. So if you're in the military, that gives you more points on a point system for priority to be hired. And I can't remember exactly what it is, but there's a point system with it. So a lot of it's made up of ex-military. The other part are people who have families and they were educated and they just went to get a government job because they'll get, better benefits and maybe on average better pay in the field on average, but they can get better pay out there. And then the third area, that's the fucked up area. And I think it's probably half and half between the people with families and I'd say it's probably about 30-30-30. It's probably about 30-30-30. It's the people who were like the shift manager at Hardee's, but they had like a business management degree or something like that. And see, this group of people who worked at like the night shift at Hardee's, if you come in and be like, hey, yo, I'll pay you $90,000 to do this, see, they will have the highest utmost respect for that government job now. They're not going to, they'll do everything by the book and they'll just do anything they're told because to them, that's a lot of money. Now, the other two, let's say like the ex-military who were like established, had points on the system, blah, blah, blah. And then the second part, the ones who have families, who legit have the education. See, those two groups, they know they can go out there in the world and potentially get a better job overall. But that the lower group, like the last one I mentioned, that group is going to suck the government's cock immediately and do whatever they're told. They'll sell their soul for that job. And that's so in my history, I went essentially from The second one, the one who has a family and they just went there for good benefits. I went from the second to the one who will suck the government's cock. I went to that. And will do literally anything. No real sense of logic, morals, any of that shit. so the information I'm going to disclose. So when I first came, okay, for step one, the reason why I tell everybody to do Chapter 31 instead of the GI Bill. Okay, step one, go to if you go to the military, get documentation that you were hurt in any kind of way, you're sore, whatever, because you probably get disability when you get out. Right now, that's a whole process too, and it's not going to be super easy. Although they try to make it sound like it will, to further discourage you down the road. But that's another conversation. Get this once you get disability. Now you can do Chapter 31, which is the vocational rehabilitation and employment, which is at the end of the day, it's just going to be education. It's just going to be education. They're just going to send you back to school for 98% of people, right? Now there is no limit to Chapter 31. Now they'll tell you there's a limit. They will tell you there's a limit. You've got exactly 4 years, 2 months, and 3 days. You can look it up on that. I forget that ebenefits.gov or whatever it is, and they'll have it marked down to the day, and you have a right. But the reason why I know there's no limit, because again, I worked in there. There is no motherfucker stay in that shit for 30 years and get checks off of that. But you got to word it right. Motherfuckers stay in that motherfucker. Because here's the thing. When I was on the phone with my dad, right, I was literally taking pictures of emails from 2017 and my VA counselor saying, oh yeah, your plans get ready to expire in 2018. It's 2024 now. That's 6 years ago. 7 years ago, my plan was supposed to expire. Now, Chapter 33, the GI Bill, yeah, that expires. But Chapter 31 doesn't expire. There is no ultimate end date to it. You can always go figure out a way to get back into that. The GI Bill is done. But the VR&E program, there's no limit on that. I'm listening, but I need a new PS4 game to play. Any recommendations? Something outside the normal AA titles. Oh man, I've been playing I've been playing PSVR because the buddy of mine, he gave me back here's my controller right here. He finally gave me back my VR headset because he was off with it. But I just use it as a VR machine, man. I just either play VR or I play simulation. I've been playing a lot of Assetto Corsa Competizione, playing that online, and a bunch of other little random driving games. But I don't really play like games that much anymore. Like just with the controller and the screen, unless it's like the last game I played was Mario, that remake, not RPG, but the one that had like the puzzles in it. Because I liked it I liked the Game Boy Advance version, but it just looked so bad I couldn't play it. But I've been playing that. But was it SB? I tore up my foot. The medical amount of pushback I got was crazy. Oh yeah. When you go SB, when you go to the VA, they're always gonna tell you no the first time because they don't like it's just protocol. Just expect that they gonna tell you no. They told me no 4 or 5 times before they finally gave it to me. They gonna tell you no. Now they'll make it sound like they're gonna be like they'll make it sound like, oh yeah, just come up and we'll take care of the veterans and in commercial and shit. And I mean, look, no, they're gonna the protocol is to tell you no at least the first 2 times. Every now and then somebody just walks up in there the first time and just immediately gets 100% everything. It happens, but most people are never gonna get that. But yeah, so back to me. I was supposed to be going to Florida next week for schooling and be there for some months, right? Which I'm still gonna do it, but my VA counselor just fucked up so bad, and the reason why she fucked up is because they're gonna have to give me like a nice chunk of money to do it. Because you got to remember, I got to fly here. They have to pay. It's in their law to have to do this. They have to pay me. They're going to have to pay for my flight back to the U.S. They're going to have to pay for where I'm staying for months. They're going to have to pay for food, rental cars to get back and forth to what I got to do for the job I got to do for school. And every phone, gas, all that shit. They got to, and clothes for the job, all that shit. They got to pay for all that, right? Now, here's the thing. If I had to pay for it, they would happily sit back and watch me pay for it, and everything would have been just as smooth. But I'm not paying for this, bruh. Y'all are the VA. Y'all paying for this. I'm not paying for this, right? Because see, the real funny part is if I had it came out of pocket, I'm like, okay, I'll pay for my plane ticket. I'll go live in Florida. I'll go live in fucking Florida for 6 months and pay for all my own shit. And y'all just pay for school. They'd have been like, okay, bet, cool, go. Right? They would have happily watched me go broke doing that shit. Right? Again, I worked in the office. I know I don't pay for that. They do. Now, if I had to let them get away with it, they would happily watch me drive myself broke, run to a homeless shelter, right? And how they treat veterans is really fucked up, dude. And then like here's the thing: when them VAs be getting shot up and all that shit, like because they probably deserved it. Well, okay, maybe not the people who actually got shot, but somebody up in there knows why that man came up in there and shot that VA up. Or slash somebody's cars, or start busting out windows. Somebody up in there knows exactly why that motherfucker did that. But then they'll run to Channel 5 News. Oh, I don't know what happened. I just trying to serve the military veterans. He must have had PTSD. Yeah, that's it. He had PTSD. Like, yeah, okay, motherfucker probably had PTSD, but that ain't got nothing to do with how you trying to toss him around like he's fucking nothing. So yeah, back to that white dude, man. Like he came in there fucking pissed at the VA. And I ended up talking to him. He was a cool dude. Like, he just wanted somebody to tell him directly what the fuck was going on. Because everybody at the VA would just tell you something different, right? And the thing is, they get away with it because in that world, they know how to hide behind their education or their .gov, email address or whatever. They know how to hide behind that to lead you to believe that there's some omnipotent being or some shit like that. The motherfucker's a piece of shit, man. And you okay. My VA, my old one that I'm still friends with today, she was always super nice, super kind to me. She was always super nice, super kind. But don't be surprised you go up in there and meet just what I'm dealing with now, right? I'm not gonna say I'm a shit with the VA, but I understand how people can get to that point. So the reason why I chose just this area of video today is because I feel very sorry for like the 20-year-olds now, the 18, 19, 20-year-olds, and everybody who's going to be 18, 19, 20 in the upcoming years because the economy's shit. Let's be honest about it. The economy's shit, one. Two, it is government, so you going to get a check. But look, man, the military, look, I made out pretty fucking good out the military. Now, I would not recommend anybody else do it. Unless you're coming from like a single mother household with no options and shit like that. Because I knew one guy, he did that. He came from a single mother household. And I remember because he wanted to talk to me about it. And I went and told him. And I think somebody like him, he needed the Marines. But look, social media is lying to you motherfuckers, man. Social media is a fucking lie. You know how many times, okay, I remember, because I showed my girl this message. This one dude I met. He ended up moving to Germany, right? And he was texting me. He always randomly texted me one day while I was out with my son at the mall. He randomly texted me, so I'm writing him back. He can speak English. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for conversation, in writing at least. And he's telling me how he's like struggling in Germany. The wages have gotten ridiculous because he's not educated. He doesn't have any type of degrees or anything. So he went there as a laborer. And he's saying how rent got crazy in Germany. Everybody's mad. Everybody's depressed and stressed out because nobody has money. And he just had a daughter. So we was talking about the maternity leave money. And then he's talking about how he's like just broke. He has literally no money at the end of the month. Blah, 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 this and that. And guess what? I seen he was posting on Facebook. New BMWs, new Mercedes, and all this shit like that. And I showed it to my girl because I showed my girl the messages he sent me about this shit, how he's struggling, and I showed him his Facebook page. Social media is a fucking lie, dude. It's a fucking lie. These motherfuckers on YouTube and Facebook and all this Instagram shit is bullshit, man. Don't believe. Now I post on Instagram. You see, well, I don't know if everybody follows my Instagram who's watching now, but I was on Instagram and where I took a train ride. And yeah, like that's real shit. It wasn't perfectly clean or anything like that. That's real life. Social media on a whole is just complete lies, perfected bullshit, or circle jerk of depression, right? That's all it is. That's all it is. Military has trouble recruiting enough people because vets get treated like shit. This don't know how to say it, but yeah. So I'll elaborate on my first thought when this whole rise of mental illness took off was that I thought that was going to be the first hit that the military recruitment was going to hit. Was all these people just, I think it was an indirect consequence of letting women have primary custody of children, is that women will attach themselves to any way to make themselves sound like the victim. So if you say, oh, I'm a little sad right now, so that makes me depressed and bipolar, right? Well, now motherfuckers around the world, they autistic, bipolar, depressed, and all this shit. And for those of you who know the military, like back when I went in, like, oh, you didn't talk about being bipolar or anything like that. You were almost too embarrassed to even bring it up, right? And the military damn sure wouldn't take you. If you had a record of anywhere documented you were depressed at any time, the military just would not take you, period. I remember one girl, her name was Whitney right now. I remember her name was Whitney because she wanted to go to the Air Force. And she was all, I remember she wanted to go to the Air Force. I met her at Sinclair. And she wanted to go to the Air Force. She wanted to, she was talking about she wanted to go to the Air Force and she wanted to be a psychologist, right? And I remember one day she came to school just like fucked up, like mad and fucked up. But we were like super cool. So like I was talking, I said, well, what happened? And she goes, they rejected my application for the Air Force. And I said, well, why did they do that? He said, because I had depression when I was like 13 or some shit like that, right? And that's real shit. That's how the military used to be. I don't know if it's still like that, but it used to be like that. It used to, like, if you had any sign of any type of mental illness, or that's a bad word to use, but if you had any sign of any mental issue, the military just would not take you. They're just not taking you, period. There's no taking you on pills or anything. No, they're just not taking you, dude, period. Right, fucking period. So I always knew, like, when that rise in mental health cases, in documentation of mental health cases hit the U.S. military, I think that was one of the first areas to get hit by that. Any type of form of any military form, like police, maybe not fire, because in reality, a lot of firefighters don't really do. I mean, I know I'm oversimplifying. But any branch of like military / protector role, if you had any type of mental issue, they just would not fuck with you. You were immediately thrown out if they found out that you had any type of suicidal thoughts or whatever. If you said anything along anywhere near close, your application's in the trash. Like gone. When you say the economy is shit, does that apply to how it used to be? Are there better options now? No, it's shit for 20-year-olds. It's shit for the younger generation. For the older generations, here's the thing. I think it's a weird, intertwined, fucked up / benefit. Now I'm 38. I'll be 38 this year. And I will openly say this. I think anybody who's over the age of 35 should be psychologically evaluated and or just wiped out from the workforce. I think it's officially at that point due to technology and where it is now. I think at this point, anybody over the age of 35 should be, and I'm 38. Anybody over the age of 35 should be psychologically evaluated and or just knocked out the workforce entirely. You're just not allowed to go to work. You're just not allowed to come up here with any ideas anymore. Right? When I'm navigating some of these websites that are clearly like, ran by older people, I'm like, oh God, like it's just a fucking mess. An absolute mess. Catch up with fucking AI, whatever the fuck. AI's here, dude. It's over. A lot of these things that people could get away with and hide behind are no longer there anymore. I think the education system's on its way to getting completely wrecked by AI. I think the job market is getting there, but I think education, I think it's on its. I was watching a clip of some courtroom. AI's gotten so good now you can't even tell if ads are real anymore. I showed my girl like these ads, and I asked, and one would look so real. I thought it was real until the white woman she just started speaking like Taiwanese fluent, like I'm guessing fluently, like she just started flipping in like 8 different languages. But the shit looked so real, I thought it was real. AI's gotten so great, you can't even tell the difference. And at the right angle or right lighting, and it's just gonna get better. But yeah, no, I was watching it was a courtroom where a dude in Sing let's see if I can find it. A dude in Singapore said I think it was Singapore sending odor for I probably can't. Well, somebody in Reddit put it. Yeah, here it is right here. This is it. This is it. Right here. How soft Singapore is putting away is going to pay for sending the older people back to school to learn about what AI can actually do because they'll just get raped. Like from dating scams, the credit card scams or whatever. The AI just took over. Let's watch this real fast. I thought this was but again, AI's gotten so good now. A talented person with AI, this shit could be fake. I've seen AI that man, this could very well be fake. We are in a day and age now where you literally, I say within 3 years, you won't be able to believe anything you see on TV or social media.
Software like ChatGPT, GPT-4, Midjourney 5 had appeared on the market within less than a year or so. At the time, April 2023, I'd expected the technology to take another 2 to 3 years. As it happened, it took place faster than I imagined. Just before Budget 2024, the announcement by DPM Lawrence Wong, our finance minister, there was another announcement halfway across the world from Singapore. A tech company which is already changing the world, a tech company called OpenAI, which brought you ChatGPT not too long ago. That company announced a new platform, a new AI platform called Sora. Sora allows you to key in text, type in some text, a prompt, and it can produce videos which are indistinguishable from what Hollywood can produce today and what smaller studios can produce. Within less than a year or so, AI which can hold a conversation with you, can write an essay for you, that's ChatGPT. AI which can take high school exams, advanced placement exams in the United States curriculum and outperform many humans, that's GPT-4. Spoken about how, with increases in computing power, once you go from generating one make-believe image to 30 images a second, you go from AI-generated photos to AI-generated videos. At the time, April 2023, I'd expected the technology to take another 2 to 3 years. As it happened, it took place faster than I imagined. Within 10 months, OpenAI had announced the Sora platform to produce AI-generated video. So that's the world today. Technology disruption happening very quickly. New challenges everywhere. The unexpected, increasingly the norm. And so we can't hide from these changes.
Yeah.
After, support, empower, uplift our people. And this is why the new subsidy for Singaporeans age 40 and above.
I think it needs to be 35 and above. I think 40 is too old. I think that's giving too much credit. I think it needs to be 35.
To pursue another full-time diploma in higher education. This new subsidy in the budget, that's why it's so important. Because it recognizes that in a world that's changing so quickly, what you learn in school, in education at age 20, may have changed, transformed, been replaced by a new world by the time you're age 40.
Yeah.
No country, no economy can hide from these changes in the world with AI. Even if an entire country tries to prevent AI from entering its borders, other economies will do so.
Yeah, I agree 1,000% with him. It's done. There's just look, the economy is shit, dude. So ultimately, I think what's going to have to end up happening. Okay, let's take like schools like Yale, Columbia, like school. Like I would say MIT can be pretty safe, but when you take like these outside of like technology, these pretty basic schools that are still just they'll have like communications and shit like like not specialized fields. I think what's going to end up happening is see what people really aren't aware of is how these Ivy League schools are really just um, are really just private circles. They're just private communities, closed circle cliques. That's really all they are. Because education is now just a book away, dude. Like unless you're trying to do something that's going to cost a lot of money to have research to be able to just throw away on students, kind of thing. Like most of education is just redundant now, right? To say that you went to Ohio State University versus University of Cincinnati, there's no real reason, unless there's no if, at the core level, there's no real reason to separate the two people anymore. And I think it's just going to become more clear with the higher echelon schools, right? There's no reason why you study communications at Yale. What the fuck, communications, bro, at Yale, right? So we all know you got a job because Yale, not the communications, right? Let's be real about it. But I think with that being said, I think AI is just going to further expose the fact that these schools, like these higher tier schools that are not just flat out technical schools, technology schools, these higher end schools, they're really just secret private clubs disguising themselves as universities, and I think they'll be exposed for that in due time because okay, I was telling my girl a few days ago because I got all these degrees and these degrees look. Chat AI, any AI, look, AI to people now is what the calculator was 50 years ago, 60 years ago, right? At first, you're gonna have your older people who are like, "What? No, you don't know how to count. I know how to count." Right? You're gonna have people who are gonna reject the calculator, like people are gonna reject AI, right? Because they want to hold on to their own ego of not becoming obsolete, right? You're gonna have and I say a large part of the population is gonna be on that, right? But then guess what? As soon as calculators became affordable, when you walked into an accounting office, what was the first thing you saw on everybody's goddamn desk? A fucking calculator. Why? Because the calculator can do it better than you can, right? But the only thing that still kept like accounts and shit still in the loop was that, well, you still got to know the formulas and whatever the fuck to come to X conclusion. So the calculator, even though the calculator can't count and do math better than you can never imagine, right? You still the operator still has to know the formula to put in the motherfucker. You know what I mean? To get the right shit. They still have to know how to think, right? But see now with AI, you don't even gotta know how to draw. You just say I showed my girl we were on a computer and I typed in Ron Burgundy standing next to the Eiffel Tower in a speedo, and it said wait, and it had Ron Burgundy in a speedo, a muscle standing next to the Eiffel Tower with his mustache on, right? And it did it in fucking 5 seconds. Right, and motherfuckers gonna be mad about it. Like they gonna say, "Oh, it's not real art," whatever, blah blah blah. And ultimately, I think it's the same thing with artists. I'm not gonna be surprised if people get upset by me saying this, but yeah, I think it's the same thing as the calculator. Artists are gonna be mad about things like Sora, shit like that. But in reality, okay, the very essence of art, if you claim you're an artist, the very essence of art means that you have to entertain that is still a form of art, right? The very essence of what art is. Even if Michelangelo, if he was humble enough and he had to look at it, he would say that's not art. But what he's really saying is that's not art how I would do that art. That's what he's really saying, right? It's still art. You still have to put the words in and have an imagination and then pick the one you want. It's still a form of art. You just don't know how to draw. Just like with math, right? Motherfucker can use a calculator, but they don't know how to count. But they can still get the answer, right? Now, is it respect? Now it comes into this whole like respecting and all this shit like that on top of it, all that. But in the reality of what the essence of what art is, you have to look at it and say it's art. It may not be respected art. I could accept that argument that we wouldn't see that as respected, as admirable art, but it's still art, nonetheless, because you still have to form it some kind of way, right? But back to this AI thing, I think AI is going to disrupt a lot of the education system, not in the form of education for what it is at the core, because what education is at the core is just spreading information to innovate new thought. That's what education is. Actually, I think it was Marcus Aurelius, and I think it was him or it was somebody I was reading, one of those philosophers. They were explaining how in their day, the parents didn't want their kids to go to school because the parents want their kids to stay home and work on the land, work around the house, shit like that. They couldn't get the parents to send their kids to school back in them old Greek times, right? And the whole fight was from the government was like, no, send your kid to school, not for the reason that they need to learn something to know now, but for the reason that if they come across something later in life, they know how to think when that problem comes. That was the base for education. Well, from the ancient Greek shit, from those philosophers, that was from their perspective of it, right? So education at the core is always going to be, as long as humans are around, education will always exist, right? But I think the education system is going to get fucking wrecked, right? The teachers should, or universities hiding behind egos because they have it. Degrees are going to essentially be useless for, I'd say, at least 70% of all forms of study, at minimum. And it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse. Because now ChatGPT isn't all the way there yet with you ask it something and it gives you the exact fucking thing that you want. It's not all the way there yet, but you got to remember this is like literally like iPhone 1 of ChatGPT, and it's able to disrupt entire countries on their perspective of what they can and can't do. I mean, and this is iPhone 1, right? I'm on board for AI. Even if it means destroying me in the process, I'm on board for it. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great. I think it's a beautiful time to watch how humans just react to it versus what we've known up till now. And what I also think is going to be beautiful is how fast things will develop out of that, right? Because you got to remember, AI is a language model, right? It's a language model based off of data off the internet. Well, sooner or later, it's going to start comparing internet data, blah, blah, blah. Developments will start growing far quicker. Far, 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 far quicker. The Industrial Revolution to times before the Industrial Revolution was a big boom in human history. That was a massive boom in human history. The Industrial Revolution was the biggest boom in human history in terms of development, right? And now I think AI is going to be that times like 30. It's going to be that times 30. But here's the thing, I'm on board for it. I think it's great. You want to know why I use ChatGPT? I'll tell you what I use ChatGPT for. Whenever I got to talk to my VA counselor, this is what I seriously tell ChatGPT to do. I copy her email and I paste it in ChatGPT, right? And I say, okay, now reply to this email as a 35-year-old white woman who's enthusiastic in life. They're like, sure. It is like, hi, how's it going? Because, you guys speak to white women, right? White American women, right? And now and you know what's crazy? It works. Like, now she's replying these in-depth messages and all flavorful. Like, bitch, it ain't me. That's ChatGPT you talking to. It's ChatGPT, fam. That ain't me. Or tell it to sound like a drunk toddler. Like, sure. But here's the other thing. Now, this is a part that I don't think America's even close to really understanding this reality. Now, the reason why this is such a big deal the reason why ChatGPT is a bigger deal outside the U.S. is this. See, Americans, we really don't realize how important, not how important, that's a super pretentious way to approach this. We don't realize how much attention the English language gets, right? We really don't. As Americans, if you're in America, we don't understand it. I think the UK, I think they kind of understand it because they're a little more intertwined with the world. But I think Canada, North America, I don't think they really, really, really get it. So here's the thing. Let's say you have to write a paper, right? Well, in America, if you say, "Hey, ChatGPT, write this paper on the Industrial Revolution, make it APA format, have it give at least 8 sources that are after the year 2003, and make it sound like I'm a junior at a college, right? And make it 20 paragraphs long or 4 pages, whichever comes first, and make a title page, do all this, add everything you want into it, all this, right? And it'll do it, right? Now, the reason why in North America it's more easier for them to like catch people doing it is not because the software that they have software that can catch AI, right? Okay, good, because here, oh, I don't know what those balloons are for, but here's the thing, right? Because I've experimented with this, right? If you use any type of AI checking, like plagiarism AI checking shit, right? You can, from what I remember, you can legit put the Declaration of Independence in those things, and it will think that that was AI. Like those programs are just dog shit. There's the only way that universities can catch you if you use ChatGPT is by the habitual word usage. Like it'll start off paragraphs the same, or keep using like the same word over and over again, or kind of like not really get quite to a point and say something. That's what. So the actual programs like Turnitin, I can't think of the other ones right now, but these like programs that are supposedly catching people do like using ChatGPT. It's not though. Those programs aren't doing shit. Period. Not for ChatGPT. Now maybe plagiarism, yeah. And I've had my own bouts with plagiarism. So get this, I tell a story about my past dealing with plagiarism. I almost got kicked out the school for this. This is how dumb the school was. And I'm not making any part of this up. Now this is before ChatGPT. I was in the other room over there when I first moved in here. I was in the other room, and I remember I typed this paper up, right? And sources, whatever the fuck, right? So I turned and I put it into one of those like checkers, and the checker said that I committed plagiarism, right? So I was like, what? No, because I literally typed this whole paper up drunk, because I would type all my papers like while I've been drinking, and I would like 8-10 page paper, some shit like that. So I go to look at what it classified as plagiarism. And guess what it classified as plagiarism? The reference page. The site, I'll show you what I'll show you what it was. This is what the program, let me zoom in. Oh, that's blurry anyway. This is what the reference page is literally saying where you got the information from. And their shitty program said that was plagiarism on my paper because it highlighted all in like red or green or some shit like that. So they were talking about that. And guess what? I had to speak to like the fucking dean and all this shit. I'm like, look, no, dude, like look at the program and what it's actually saying is plagiarized, right? It was nowhere in the paper did it say I copied anything. It had all the reference page was lit up. Like I'm saying, universities are not that intelligent. They're really not. Once you get in there and above it, they're really not very smart at all. And that's a complete. I almost got kicked out of school for that. That shit was wild, man. And like I said, and they're like, so again, with now where I was going with that is with using ChatGPT in universities. Now the other part of it is, let's say you're in Czech Republic, right? And you need to write a paper. What I've seen is that because you have to tell, okay, write this, and it'll write it in English, and then you say translate this to Czech, and it'll translate it to Czech. Now the beauty of it is, see, Czech language has nowhere near the same grammar as English language, so they're not so the repetition of words and all this is nowhere near as bad as the English. So over here, the kids can use it all goddamn day. The only thing that might give it away is it might use too complicated words. Let's say if the kid's like in 10th grade or something like that, you got to specify to tell it, make it sound like a 10th grader wrote it, or else it's going to sound like a university quality paper. But outside of that, see, this is the other added part of why ChatGPT is so dangerous for the education world. Like America is trying to catch it, and there's stories of it pops up here and there, but for the most part, the programs can't catch ChatGPT. All right, there's just no way. The only way they can catch you is if you just say yes, I used it. If you don't say yes, I used it, then they don't know if you used AI for it or not, right? Now, the bigger danger is, like I said, outside of these English speaking countries where they can write the paper in their language, they have a much easier time to get away with that, right? Because the AI is not tailored for German. It's not tailored. It's not initially in German. It's not initially in French. It's not initially in Czech, right? So it has to work. I've even seen people say, like, for English papers, just they said write it like you're from the UK, and that solves the problem of making it too much repetition, like how paragraphs start out or end and all this. I heard that helps a lot with ChatGPT. But I'm all on board for AI. I think it's wonderful. I think it's great, even if it means like destroying what I do. I think it's great. I think it's just beautiful to watch that growth. Honestly, I really do. And that Sora shit is fucking wild. I love it. And that Sora shit is gonna put a lot of motherfuckers out of business too. Not in the context, in my opinion, not in the context of just sitting down at a computer and say, "Hey, make me a Mega Man movie," and it just makes a whole great movie, from start. Not in that context. I don't think it's quite there yet. But in the context of like making a scene to cut down on budget costs, there's a lot of 3D artists and motherfuckers that's getting ready to get fucking raped, dude. Like, they ain't gonna make that shit. It's a lot of motherfuckers. The motherfucker with them drone shots, it's over. They did that. Those days are done. Them drone shots, any of that is gone. Hollywood is fucking finished, dude. They're done. Too much information can be spread around too quickly now. Hollywood can't hide behind that shit anymore. Hollywood can't hide behind a $3 million studio. Educators and universities can't hide behind a posh, snobby attitude and say, "Oh, well, you need to write it like this now." They can't hide behind it anymore. It's done. It's finished. And if you ask me, I think both sides, they had it coming a long time ago. If the professor don't like you, he gonna accuse you of cheating. Oh yeah. What's up, Mo? The logic behind my question makes comparison when desktop computers came out in the early 90s, everyone was buying one to make spreadsheets. How many real people have lost their jobs, opportunity, gain employment from JetGB or Mid-Journey image? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, yeah. Like I said, I'm all for it. Some 10 years ago, everyone was making predictions how truck drivers will be running out of jobs. Even more so, in one of my dumb classes while I was doing econ, it was showed live. Yeah, I can see the pushback from things like, because I was telling my girl, like, look, I don't think we're as far away from androids, like, automaton. No, it's not automaton, but I don't think we're too far away from having like walking robots in the house. I don't think we're as far away from that as we think. I don't think it's gonna happen in the next 5 years, but we're really not terribly, terribly off from that shit, dude. From having like a robot that can just like walk down the street and go get your food and walk back home type of shit. Like, first, of course, like any technology, first Kanye West is gonna have. I mean, the rich motherfuckers, they gonna have it and show it off on on TV. But then it's gonna make its way down to like you can buy the motherfuckers at Walmart. Motherfuckers be throwing them away because they too slow. But I don't think we're too. Now I can see the pushback and acceptance. For example, I'm reading iRobot now. I usually don't like fiction, but I think nonfiction is like the only fiction I can put up with for a long period of time. And I'm reading iRobot, the book iRobot. So the book iRobot is actually nothing like the movie. It's told from this perspective of a woman. She was a scientist for robot, and she built robots, and she's telling her history. So the book takes place, I think, like 2050, but she's telling the stories like in their reality, like robots were already walking around by like 2009 kind of thing. And it's just like dives into the real like acceptance interactions. And it's not like the robots ever turned evil or anything like that. It's more dealing with everything else outside of those typical like horror story like iRobot. Like they just go crazy and start killing everybody type of shit. Like, but I honestly I don't think we're as far away from I think the like the movie iRobot, I think we're still a bit far away from that. But in terms of like androids that can just like walk around the house and like, and then the sex bot thing, that's gonna go fucking crazy. But I don't think we're very far away. I don't think we're anywhere near as far away from it as I think. At least I would initially think about it. I don't think we're very, very. I'd say maybe and this is just completely ignorant guess, but I would say maybe 15 years, 15, 20, before you be able to just have one, maybe you just one just walking around this motherfucker. Right? And then just go stand in the corner and like charge up. That should be creepy as fuck. Like, I see a pushback from like people in my demographic who just like aren't used to that shit. But yeah. Let me take a bathroom break. I'll be right back. All right. Yeah. So let's go over this military benefits explain. All the free stuff you get by joining the military. Oh, God. That's it, man. I feel sorry for the younger guys out there who don't remember a time before now, you know, as an adult. I do. I feel sorry for younger guys who are, you know, younger, no education. Because at least now people will still at least hold you to a higher regard if you have a university degree. But if you're just 18, you're just not going to have that, right, at all. Because I'm not saying this dude's lying, but the title definitely ain't looking too good to try to sell this shit in a certain way. Well, we all know. We'll find out what he says. No, I never seen the movie. What's this? Running Man? I never seen it.
The benefits you get by joining the military ain't that bad. When I asked you guys why you joined the military, the majority of you guys said that's the main reason why you guys joined. And the second was a combination of both. And it's not a bad deal. The military covers your housing, your food, your health care. You guys get free college after 4 years. And since the military is going to take everything it can away from you, it's important that you guys know about every benefit that you guys have just by being in the military, because the military is going to have you in places you can't even pronounce, you've never even heard of, sucking, miserable, cold, wet, just straight up hating life. So in this video, I'm going to tell you guys my favorite benefits or perks about being in the military. And if you pay attention to the video, I'm going to tell you guys how you can possibly make even thousands of dollars just by using these benefits. Comment down below your favorite perk about being in the military. If you haven't joined my Discord already, join it. If you haven't liked the video already, like it. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. My favorite perk so far about being in the military is the fact that your credit card fees are waived. So due to the SCRA...
That's true. That's true. Because I did that. So this is true. This is true. He's not lying.
Perk so far about being in the military is the fact that your credit card fee.
So you okay? So you do get a credit card. That's not exactly true. Well, it just depends. Okay, no, yeah, it is true. It's true. So let me explain this. So I actually have this right now. And my other, actually another credit card. I just want, because I just have them. The other credit card company, they rejected it. I don't really know why they rejected it, but I do have this on one of my credit cards. So when you typically get a credit card in the world, I didn't make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, when you get a credit card in the world, generally speaking, especially when you're younger, it's going to have like a 25% interest rate or some wild shit like that. Especially if you're young enough to go to the military, for the demographic he's going to be talking to, you're getting a 20% interest rate on a credit card, right? And on top of that, probably an annual fee and all that old crazy shit. So, yeah. I forget what it's called, but I have this. Your interest rate will never be above 4%, And on top of it, yeah, you have no late fees, credit card fees at all. Like so, it's because there's been a few times where I was like late, like paying it at the end of the month, or that it was due. 'Cause I'm just losing track of shit. And now what they will do, what they've done to me is they'll just block the card until you pay it. You can't spend any more money on it, but there's no fee on it. You still have the interest rate. The interest rate again, the interest rate is 4%, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there's no late fees at the end of the month. There's no fees. So yeah, this is true. This is true.
Fees are waived. So due to the SCRA, all credit card fees are
That's
waived.
it.
So meaning
Yeah.
if you guys want that Amex Platinum or that Amex Gold or that Chase Sapphire credit card, these are prestigious credit cards, by the way. Your fees are waived, but you still get the benefits. I personally have both credit cards, and if you guys are not responsible, I highly encourage you guys to not get a bunch of credit cards. But if you guys are responsible, the sky's the limit. Get as many credit cards as you want, because there's a whole bunch of ways you guys can increase your wealth or leverage your credit card benefits to get a lot of stuff for free. In addition, if you have a spouse, their fees can also be waived as well. Say you in a club, you with some shorties, you trying to impress them.
Okay, now real quick, I want to touch on that last part. As just to clarify, so we say if you have a spouse, that fees waived. Now, one thing that I think, like especially American women, I don't think they're fully aware of is they had to been with you while you were in the military. So if you get out the military and then you marry some woman, some American woman, okay, she's not entitled to anything, right? Now you could potentially pass some things off to your kid with her, but that woman is just another homie to the military. So for example, because I went to school near Wright Pat military base. So with a military base is going to come not poor people, but just working class people. So in that working class, the women all want a military man in working class cultures, right? Because the only reason the military base typically goes somewhere, it's usually going to be like a poor area kind of thing. It's not usually not going to be like a rich. They're not going to put it in the middle of fucking Santa Monica. It's usually going to be some like poor area out the way kind of thing. Not like poor, but like definitely not a rich area, because they bring money to that area. And so you're gonna have a lot of women who are thinking that they're just gonna like get with a dude who's in the military or out the military. Well, if they get with a guy who's in the military, they can get those benefits. Where if the guy's already out the military, they don't get it.
Their fees can also be waived as well. Say you in a club, you with some shorties, you trying to impress them, you be like, "Oop, let me use my platinum." You hear that? That's metal. That's metallic. What you know about that? A big baller, big baller. Whole time you in the military getting paid less than minimum wage. But they don't know that though. There's also additional benefits.
Yeah, I'm glad he touched on that. Yeah. I'm glad because he said that you get free room and board. Yeah, but yeah, when you're in the military, that was a big thing when I would go to the VA. Before I started working there, they would say how you like if you actually calculated it all, like you're getting paid like $3 an hour in the military. It's like $3 an hour.
TRA, but by far the no annual credit card fee, but you keep the benefits is by far my favorite. Ooh, boy. And also, more importantly, if you're in the military, it's important that you guys have at least a credit score of 700. The military is a great way to build your credit because you have stable income and no bills. The next benefit I like about being in the military is that we get a lot of discounts at major retailer stores. Usually, military members get at least 10% off. So if you guys are out shopping, make sure you ask if the store has a military discount. It also includes discounts for your cell phone provider. So for an example, I have T-Mobile, and they have a military plan in itself, and I'm able to save money compared to a regular civilian would just by being in the military. Speaking of cell phone,
yeah, see, there's a lot more to that, and I'm not gonna say he's not wrong, but there's more to it. What he's not telling you is how every car lot within a 5-mile radius is gonna charge you. You're gonna have a 75% interest rate on a Dodge Charger anywhere 20 miles in a 20-mile radius from any type of military base. So yeah, like you'll get a 10% discount on your T-Mobile bills, some shit like that. But for the shit that's gonna count, you gonna spend a whole lot more for that to get to that cell phone store to pay the bill. Right? I mean, but he's not lying though. He is right.
phone providers. For today's video, I partnered up with Mint Mobile to talk to you guys about how you guys can save money by switching to Mint Mobile, which only takes 15 minutes. Mint Mobile uses the nation's largest 5G networks and is often cheaper than many other T-Mobile and T-Mobile battle. No worries. Mint Mobile will mail you a SIM card free of charge. I also personally part of Mint Mobile, and Mint Mobile. It's benefit. You may not realize how important it is, but when you guys are older down the line, you guys are going to realize how big of a benefit this actually is. And the benefit that I'm talking about is the VA home loan. So basically what the VA home loan does for you is you guys are able to take out a mortgage to buy a house with $0 down.
It's true.
With the same interest rate that any other competitive bank would give you, but you don't have to pay PMI. In a nutshell, basically, you save a lot of money by using a VA home loan. And if you're an investor, you want to buy a duplex, triplex, quadplex, and you want to put $0 down to make sure you're leveraging your own money as much as possible, using a VA home loan is right up your alley. Next up is tuition assistance. Now, you guys may have heard of the GI Bill and how the military can pay for your college after you're done serving your term. But while you guys are in, you guys can use tuition assistance. Right now, the cap for each fiscal year is $4,000 or $4,500, depending on which branch you're currently serving in. But pretty much, you guys can use that money to go to school, get a degree, or start your degree and finish some classes before you guys get out. And, you know, that way you guys don't have to use your GI Bill on the whole college degree because you use your tuition assistance on it. So you already knocked out some classes, so you saved yourself some time, and then boom, you saved yourself some money so you guys can use your GI Bill on something else because, you know, you already got your degree.
So, okay. He's not lying. But again, okay, I think he's in it. So, and on top of that, he's trying to sell it on YouTube. I get that, you know, I get it. And he's been truthful the whole time. I think some of this just kind of comes with age, maybe. And on top of that, I worked in the VA where he'll be headed when he gets out the military, so I've seen the other side of it. So when it comes to tuition assistance or any educational benefit, most veterans just do not complete a degree. Well, under the tuition assistance, or under any type of tuition assistance, period. Most just don't, because it's not in their culture. That's why they're in the military in the first place, right? Let's just be honest about it, right? Let's be completely real about it. The reason why they're in the military is because they didn't come from they weren't geared for education from their parents by the start, right? I mean, there are cases of people who do, like myself, like I got the education, shit like that. But working at the VA, the vast majority of, I still remember I was messing around with this one girl. She worked, this is when I was working as an ambassador of my school. And I was legitimately intimidated by her, right? Because she was just too pretty. She was educated and she was pretty. This is a white girl, and I really liked her too. And she really, I don't know if she really liked me or I don't really know if she just really liked the black dude. I couldn't really tell. But I remember she would always kind of come to where I was and like would just like stand. And she was like working an educated job. I was just an ambassador. Ambassador sounds important, but it's really nothing at a university. You just walk around, give tours. You know, it's not a real job. At least mine wasn't. It was for students. And she would always come around me, or I'd be walking, and I would just look over and see her looking at me like, type of thing, right? And she was like a pretty white girl, man. But I really liked her. But I was intimidated because I didn't have the education yet, you know, the context of the world. Like I was intimidated by all of that. And so we would like walk and talk a lot, and she told me where she was from and blah blah blah. And then I remember she ended up talking to me about she was talking to this guy in the military at the time, and she asked me about what do you think he's actually going to finish? And I just told her like flat, no, I don't think he's going to finish. And she goes, yeah, and she just tells me how like, yeah, he's been doing it forever and nothing's ever accumulated into anything. Yeah, and I say this is generally how it works with most veterans. Not all veterans, but most. Most veterans again, it's the context of who's going there, right? It's people who are coming from lesser educated homes, people who were not drilled on going to college, at younger ages. So when they hit the real world, they're just lost, right? So most people, actually, a good friend of mine, he's a nurse now, but he did the same thing. He blew his entire GI Bill money. He just kept going to school, collecting checks, flipping majors every 5 seconds until the GI Bill money was gone. Then he took out student loans and then finally finished nursing school. But most veterans, most military people, it's just okay. It's like I don't know. The context of military completing university is like saying Kim Kardashian completing learning how to become a mechanic, right? That's nothing. Nothing in her life was geared for that. Yeah, Kim Kardashian knows what a mechanic is. She can point one out of a group if he's holding a wrench. But like, and actually going in there and living that lifestyle, she don't know nothing about being a mechanic, right? And it's just, I say it's rough. Now you do have some pretty girls who can do it, but those usually had their father making them do it when they was a kid and getting them into it, kind of thing, so they know how to do it at 25. Those girls do exist, but yeah. So when it comes to college and tuition, I would really love to hear like a real. I would love to hear that go a bit more popular. Like somebody who's just like super honest about education in the military.
I highly recommend this if you guys are still in. Even if you only take one class, I strongly encourage you guys to use your tuition assistance, because you guys are just throwing away $4,000 every fiscal year. And you guys can also use that in combination with your Pell Grant to actually get paid. I got paid over $1,000 just to use my Pell Grant. It's literally a win.
Okay, yeah, so let's dive into the Pell Grant scenario. Okay, yeah. So this further explains the context of people who are going to the military. So as somebody who went to college at younger ages and had to do it on my own, and I use military benefits, I feel like I'm a good person to talk about this. So in order to get a Pell Grant, at least back when I did it, in order to get a Pell Grant, you either have to be able to claim yourself as independent, which means you have to be at least, I think, 24, 25 or older, or two, your parents have to be of low income for you to be eligible for a Pell Grant, right? Now, my dad earned too much money, and then also my dad earned too much money, so I couldn't get the Pell Grant, and then I was 22, so I couldn't be independent, right? So I didn't get the Pell Grant. The Pell Grant really only helps for like community college. For like a legit university, a Pell Grant really isn't going to do much, but a community college will do a lot. $4,000 a year is like $4,000 a year is community college level shit. But $4,000 a year is not university. You'd be lucky to find a university, especially out of state or some shit, like whatever the fuck. You would be lucky to find a university to get any real legwork done off. If you say $4,000 a year, which I should look that up to clarify, because I'm a little gray in that specific area. But none of these, yeah.
When you're getting paid to educate yourself and better yourself and go to school, at least take one college class. Next up is laser eye surgery. Unfortunately, your boy is so blind as a bat that he can't get laser eye surgery. If you look at my old videos, you'll see me wearing my glasses. But if you guys have bad eyesight, definitely see if you guys can get laser eye surgery paid for by the military. Pretty much, it's just an overall improvement of your quality of life. I strongly encourage you guys to look into it if your eyesight's kind of iffy. You know what I'm saying? Glasses is kind of annoying. In the military, the gyms on post are free. Some of them are 24 hours, some of them are not. But the thing is, make sure you're in one of them after work.
Oh yeah, you always want to have access to a
I did PT in the morning. Go to the gym after PT, even if you did PT. In civilian world, gym memberships cost money, bro. And depending on the situation, you might not have, the money for that, because they're like 20, 40 bucks a month. They got the saunas, they got basketball courts, they got weight rooms, bro. They're not bad gyms. If you follow me on Instagram, you know I'm an avid gym rat. The gym changed my life. I'm glad I joined the military, because I probably would not have been in the gym. One of the biggest factors of me starting to go to the gym was I got my heart broken. We were in the field, and as a soldier, you're gonna have to carry your buddies around if they get injured, bro. And this one field exercise, it was that we were carrying infantrymen, and as you know, it's not just carrying the person, you got to carry all their gear with you too. And for the life of me, bro, I'm like, holy crap, these infantry guys are heavy AF. So I'm like, bro, I gotta start hitting the
dead
gym
weight.
because imagine having that on your conscience where you couldn't save somebody's life because you were physically too weak. That would stick with me personally for the rest of my life, and that would honestly help me. So your boy is training so I never have to be in that situation. And also, when grandma's pension in the military is pretty much covered. You guys don't have to worry about when your next check is coming. You guys don't have to worry about, oh, the food prices are going up. You know, you guys don't have to worry about your health care, yada, yada, yada. And you guys also don't have to worry about, paying to see a therapist. You guys don't have to see about, financial advisors, things that in the civilian world will cost you thousands of dollars.
Now, this area I'm not gonna know a lot about because okay, after I had gotten out, which I'm talking like I was in there for like years or something. But when I got out, people started roasting the army because he says he's in the army, right? And he's talking about going to see a therapist and all this. Now, and I don't mean this as the roasting, right? Motherfuckers was roasting the army because they said in boot camp, the army first they get to bring their cell phones with them, and then if somebody yells in their face, they could pull out a yellow card, like a stress card. Let me see if I can find a stress card. And I'm not roasting Hill. Let me see if I can find this shit. Is this shit real? Oh, and they dress them up like bitches in the. They said they could pull out a stress card. Yeah, because they roasting them. They was roasting them when I got out. They see he in there on the cell phone in boot camp. they be roasting the army. So motherfuckers would always roast the Navy. Everybody always say the Navy was gay. But I think it shifted. I think it shifted from the Navy to the I think it shifted from the Navy to the Army after that whole stress card situation. Oh, you say yeah, stress cards exist.
All right, hey, I want to come to you guys real quick. Yes, the stress cards did exist.
Oh,
the
they
stress
did.
cards did exist, ladies and gentlemen. I know that there's some
he was in the
guys in
Navy,
your
though.
generation, some girls in your generation that are walking around telling you guys that, oh, the stress cards never existed. These are the same people that said Ed McMahon never worked for Publishers Clearinghouse or never did any commercials, and all the things that those of us that are Gen X grew up watching and everything else. So the one thing I could tell you that didn't exist were the Gen Zers that are walking around trying to say that the stress cards didn't exist. They didn't exist back in 1997. 1997 was the first time I'd ever seen the stress card. And
Yeah, 97. Yeah, 97. He was in the and the Navy used to get roasted by that. The motherfuckers always made fun of them. The Navy and the Coast Guard, everybody always made fun of them. But everybody always roasted the Navy and the Coast. When you go to MEPS in Ohio, and it has like all the other military like offices, like the Air Force, Navy, Marines, and whatever the fuck, right? And then they would have like the Coast Guard, and they would put the Coast Guard sign over the women's bathroom. Like, damn, they just roast the motherfuckers in. They just roast them. Didn't give a fuck. Coast Guard always, the water always got roasted. I don't know why. Well, they always say he was gay, but they would always roast him, man. And I think the Army kind of took over that position. I graduated Army 2020. We were only able to call family about 2 or 3 times a week. It was rough. We didn't have our cell phones the whole time either. So yeah, so okay, not to like didn't make it like a dick measuring contest, but like in the Marine, we got the call like as soon as we got there, and they take you up. I actually showed my girl this because it's the same shit. You know, they never change anything, but it's this like green telephone, and I just showed her like what it looked like. Let me see how this dude. It's like it was this green telephone. You just walk up to it, and it's like this script, like you've been kidnapped. You just read from this script, and just like, "Hi, I've made it to Paris Island. I'm here, and I'm safe. Please do not worry about me. Goodbye." And like everybody does it, type of thing. But we weren't allowed. Like there was no like calling or talking to anybody like out. And I'm not trying to make like a dick measuring contest, but because I just don't know what what the army did or anything like that. But yeah, no, I heard they were allowed to have their cell phones. I don't know if they did away with that or not, or if it was ever even real. But that was what I've always heard about it. I did hear that people could keep their phones. Hearing that was weird. Yeah, what's up, Jen? I've been sporting a tailored tweed jacket this season. I still can't get used to the preppy feeling around people in public. Oh, Jen, yeah. What's up, AD? Happy Friday. I thought you were taking the week off. This week was just wild. But yeah, I got 2 tweed jackets right now. So I tell you what, when I first started to wear suits, I always felt like a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. When I first started to wear it, because I wore suits a lot, man. I actually just started toning down, probably over the last year or two. Because I used to just always just wear suits. All I wore was just because it was just easier. Like I didn't have to worry about matching shit. Not because I was trying to be a snob. It was just easy. But to be honest with you, like, yeah, it definitely took me a while to get over that, like, feeling weird about wearing it kind of thing. Now, I just don't even pay any attention. But at first, yeah, I went through that too. Yeah, I'm with you on that, man. Like, you just feel it kind of thing. But now, let me go grab one real quick. Yeah, so I got 2 of them right here. Now I don't like this one for real because like the sleeves don't really bend, but it was just so cheap I just bought it anyway. And I had her like change the button because the button was like too fucking wide. Now it looks like shit now, but because this one is specifically for when I'm wearing like a sweater. So I wear like a sweater underneath it, but it looks like shit with just I think it looks like shit with just a t-shirt on underneath it. But yeah, but this is usually for like when I'm wearing a sweater underneath it. And then this one's more just like a coat. And I just button up the top 2. It feels weird wearing it with just a t-shirt. Because I usually wear like I said, they're for wintertime. So yeah. So I got 2 tweeds. Let me close this door now. What's good? What's good? Oh, what's up, Super? I just got back from my doc appointment. Glad I can catch another stream. Yo, man, hope everything went good, man. It's good to hear from you. Hope you're doing all right. In these streets. Second one is nicer. Yeah. Because the first one was thicker. Like I said, the only reason why I kept the first one was because, like I said, because I wanted one that I know I could wear as like a thick ass hoodie underneath it or something like that. I just wanted one to be like a little more baggier, so I didn't have to like. Because with the second one, it's a little more trim, so I feel like I probably couldn't get away with wearing like a thicker sweater underneath it. So that's the only reason why I kept the first one. If it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have kept it. Because I got a wool coat, but that's a cheaper coat though. But it's cool, but it's a cheaper one. And that one I can't wear like a thicker sweater; it just gets too tight. So like that's like the issue with getting form-fitting clothing. Jen says, I do get surprise glowing smiles from the lady. Oh, yeah. When you wear that shit, man, like, oh, yeah, I've known, like, I'll get treated completely differently. If I wear, like, a tweed jacket or if I wear, like, depending on how the weather, like, because I have a leather coat. But I think it's just, like, the combination. Like, it's just the world just treats you differently if you're, like, you depend on your appearance. Kind of thing, but yeah, definitely wearing like tweed, like a suit or tweed jacket or just like a sports coat, any of that shit, you'll immediately be, now Yeah, I was just gonna say the only part I don't like about it is that I hope it doesn't like secretly to me I feel like I'll be categorized as like a controlled working man kind of thing. And I don't want that vibe or feeling that feel like looking like you're like a controlled person who just does what he's told kind of thing. But yeah, fitted is always nicer. Yeah, yeah. But if, like I said, the thing is with fitted, like, because you can't really like with the tweed jacket, you really don't want to put like anything over a tweed jacket. So it's like, if anything, I'd rather have one that's like a little more baggier, so I can like if I wanted to wear just like a hoodie, I could put the hoodie on, and I know that first one will fit over that hoodie kind of thing. So that's like the dilemma with like getting like more fitted clothing. It's trying to like think about how it's gonna work with whatever you already got. I got too many clothes now, to be honest with you. Off topic, why is crazy boom boom always the best? I don't know. It depends on the woman. I don't know. Let me pull over my. I seen that. I meant to reply. I'm gonna open up. I'm gonna do a live stream request. Live stream request. Oh, I went to a village outside of Prague. Now, I want to admit my faults. So how I be roasting like Czechs and like Europe and shit like that. Hang on. You got to get out. Well, I have to get out of the main city. The main city is just like like Prague is just shit, man. Like I went to Lisa Nadlabem. And that's where my Instagram posts are from.
Hello?
And my Instagram posts are from Lisa. Maybe I could look up myself on Instagram on her. I don't know. Oh, it won't let me actually like, I can't even look at anybody's profile. Maybe if I do it like this. Yeah, here it is. So this is when I went. Oh, it won't let me actually look at it. There it is, because I was riding a train. But yeah. And I went out to the village. It was always like it's just this like it was a really good place. It was a really good place, man. Like here's the thing, like I am totally down for moving outside of Prague. Like I just don't even like I just don't like Prague anymore. I'm over it. I'm just completely over. I'd rather just go live in a village, like a village or a small town. I'd much rather go live. But like the only kind of downside about that is like those people really aren't used to seeing anybody different. I mean, don't be surprised. Like if they're really not used to seeing anybody who looks different. So, but outside of that, like just the quietness of it and, manners kind of come back into play a bit. It was really nice. I really enjoyed myself. I'm done with Prague. I'm just done with Prague. I'm over it. If something were to happen, my first thought would be there's one other area I wouldn't mind living in Prague because there's a lot of foreigners that live over there. It's this area called Davice. I wouldn't mind living there. That's where I take my son to go play at the park. And I would either just look over there, or if I found some random great deal to move somewhere else in Prague, and outside of that, I would live in a village like outside of Prague somewhere. I just would not live in Prague anymore. Because here's the thing, living in Prague so one benefit of moving outside of a city as a foreigner kind of thing is cities more know, either they know the rules or they think they know the rules. So they can be like super hard on you, right? They can be, right? If you got to deal with them for like a legal situation or something like that. Whereas like if you go out to like these smaller towns and villages outside of a city, well, they really don't know what to do with you. So it's more likely a chance they'll just let you get away with whatever you want as long as you're not causing problems. They just won't care. And that's like that was the benefit. Like when I used to live out Pojebrady. It's this smaller, town. And my foreign police was actually in Kutnahura. Kutnahura, I forgot how you pronounce it, but I used to go out there, man, and I would live in Kutnahura. Let me look up Kutnahura real quick. Kutnahura. I would live out here. It was a really nice place. But it's just too far. It's just too far outside of Prague. I still want to be close to Prague just because, it's more English here. I would still want to be close to Prague, but I just don't want to be this far away. What the hell is this? Is that Google Maps? Oh, shit. It's just too far. Bloop. I have no idea where this is. Let me see, maybe up here. Wow, I don't know where the fuck this is cool. Hang on. If I could find that main street. Where the fuck? My brother in Christ. I don't know where the fuck. This is not the area that I know. Oh, that's right, because I used to always. Okay, so this is starting to look familiar now. Okay, I think it was up here. Yeah, because Kutnahur is actually kind of big. I would just go to like the center. Because I remember I would drive up here, and I think it's going to be. I don't know where the fuck. It's been so long. This is when I literally first came to Czech Republic. I can't remember. This is where I started from. With a big ass circle. If I could find just this main street, then I would know exactly where I'm at. I can't find it. It's just one main, like the center. There's a lot of these like back alleys and shit. And there's always people walking around. That's what I love about Europe. And it's always people walking. In most places that I've been to. I think this is it right here. This is it, found it. Yeah, because I ate outside right here. They used to have a restaurant out there. And there was a piano up there on the right. Yeah. Here we are. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Now I gotta remember. I think the center should be up here. Yeah, this is it, because there's a Lego store over. Oh, it won't let me go in there. There's a Lego store on the left over there. If you walk up there, and it should be, if it's still there, it should be on the next block. There's a Lego store up there. But I really like Kutnahura, man. I really liked all this. Really did, man. Prague is just done. Dragon Ball Z really touched people from all the races, culture, ethnicities. Mexicans love Dragon Ball Z. Oh, yeah, I heard a dude died. Yeah, I seen that. What happened to Tampa? Oh, man, my VA counselor fucked up, so I may not be able to. So it doesn't look like I'm going to go. I was supposed to be leaving in like a week or two, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I just got an email this morning saying we're going to shoot for July because she just fucked up. She just fucked up. I did everything I was supposed to do. And as usual, she fucks up, trying to fight me on what I know because, again, I worked in that office before. So, yeah. She just fucked up. Let me see if she emailed me back. No, she hasn't emailed me back. Yeah, so she just retarded. Oh, I just seen your message. You see, watching live stream now on the military bang on. Hey, word up. Poor guy doesn't understand what happens. Yeah. Right on. We catch up with. So let's start this video.
Hi, Kendra.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Vanessa.
Have you been here before?
Yes, I was here a long time ago, and everything that I didn't want contacted me.
Okay, you want to do it again?
Yes, can we try this a little different?
Well, I mean, I got the same questions.
Okay.
All right, your name is Vanessa. Where you calling me from, baby?
Right now, I'm in my car. I just left the Taste of Soul, so I'm calling you from LA.
LA. Okay, shout out to LA. Oh, you're in? Do you live here?
Yes, I live in LA.
Okay. How old are you, Vanessa?
I am 54.
54. Oh, you look amazing for 54.
Thank you.
All right, Vanessa, LA, 54. What do you do for a living?
I'm a teacher.
What kind of teacher?
Actually, I substitute, and I was teaching at a youth prison, so high school age.
Okay, so you're a substitute.
Personal training, yes.
Wait, are you a teacher now?
Yes, uh-huh.
So you're a substitute teacher?
Yes.
Okay. What's your zodiac sign?
Virgo.
Virgo. Do you have any children?
I have 5.
5 kids. How old are your kids?
22, 25, coming up on October 26, and then 27, 34, and 37.
Are they all by the same man?
No, 2 by my high school boyfriend, 3 by my ex-husband.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to get married again?
Oh, definitely.
You definitely. Okay. Vanessa,
Yeah.
LA, 54 Virgo.
Well, again, Isaiah said this last time I was talking about Kendra. Well, I don't. What is okay? I can see like some people just have a religious thing or something like that, but I don't see after you start hitting 40, 45. There's just no getting married is just not. I think there's just no real reason for that. There's just no reason to. That is like I said, women over the age of 40 trying to get married is the equivalent is a rough equivalent of a man's. It's the woman's midlife crisis, right? There's no reason to marry her. There is literally no. If there was a reason to marry her, those 2 guys before would have married her. Right? That time is done. Is over. It's the time after 40. I told my girl, I said, look. There's no reason to marry a woman over for a man. There's just no reason for that. That is just her trying to recoup the time she missed out on it when she was younger. That's just it. There's no purpose or reason to do that. The only reason a man wants to get married is because he's young and lonely and all that shit like that, and he wants to start a family. That's it. But keywords, plural, start a family. Right, that's it. After that man has been intertwined with a woman or too many women in those early years of getting married, he learned. Usually, most men learn a lesson after 40, 45. Most men will usually kind of learn that lesson, and there's no going. Actually, my dad, I was talking to my dad earlier before I started this live stream. He told me that my neighbor, we had these neighbors, this black couple, they got divorced because the woman, she started he caught her messing around with other dudes, so he left, right? And and he said, well, they end up selling that house and they end up moving to an apartment complex or something, but they both live in the same complex. I said, yeah, because it's gonna be hard for him to walk back into a house with 2 kids and 2 daughters and her, after that man has left that house and lived in peace. It's hard for his ass to go back in there. Once that man lived in that house with that woman, got a good taste of that woman, got a good taste of woman, right? And they got a good taste of woman with children, whether it's his or not his, right? And that man leaves back to a life of peace, waking up in quietness. Nobody's throwing anything, slamming anything. No cartoons going, none of that. He just wakes up he woke up just because he just happened to wake up. It's going to be real hard for him to go back into that. Very hard. Once he's got a good taste of all that, it's hard to get a man to go back and live full time with a woman like that. Just a woman alone. It's hard. That's hard. Let alone get married to her. There's no reason. There's at that point, all she's good for is to be a sex partner and a little bit of companionship. And to be honest, if a guy has the money, I'd highly recommend him more to just buy a hooker and a dog. I've always said that. But the getting married thing, at 54, that's a waste of time. Why? Like, seriously, like, why would a 54-year-old person want to get married? The only reason why a man at 54 would want to get married is because he's been, like, alone forever and he's never experienced it, right? Any man who's been married once, twice, three times, doesn't matter. Why would he want to go marry a 54-year-old woman? That shit don't even sound right when I say it out loud. It don't even sound right. When I say it out loud, it don't even sound right. I mean, she could be cool. I'm not saying she's not cool. So I'm not trying to bash her in that regard. She can be cool, but there's no reason to become that intertwined at 54. At 54, at 54, you should be trying to just enjoy life as much as you can. And what's the best way men enjoy life? The best way that they can is to fuck a bitch from time to time and then leave her somewhere. All right? Living with a woman at 54, living with a woman is not fun. There is nothing fun about this shit. It's the opposite of fun. You're just waiting for her to get into a bad mood again. That's all it is. You sit around waiting for her to be mad about something. And then you walk around the house and walk around the house for the next 2 days. Now you got to sit around, look at her walking around, cleaning dishes. Like, bitch, I don't want to look at you looking like that. I don't care about your emotions. I just don't care. Okay? I don't care. And that's why she cares. It's because I don't care. Right? That's why she cares. Because if I cared, she wouldn't do it. Right? The reason I'm going back a little slight into my relationship, right? The reason why she cares is because I don't. That's why she cares. Because if I cared, she wouldn't care. Right? I'm 54, trying to get married. 54. Oh, I'll leave it up cooler pipes. The reason why I took down that one about the military is because I really feel sorry about people who leave the military because it just kind of ends up as very like highly misinformed. I can only speak for American military because that's where I briefly went in and got out. They live under these very false pre-contextual information it's just not right. And I feel so bad for them. I know I have I sound like I'm roasting people or I'm trying to make fun of them, but I'm not. So that's why I never left that one live stream up with the woman who got her leg cut off. Because she was in the live stream all sad about it, going how they treat the veterans and I don't get any money, blah blah blah. And in that live stream I said, yeah, she shouldn't get any money because of what she did. They're not gonna give her money for that because she went in there thinking that the military owed her something. Which technically they do, but they don't on a formal legal level. They don't owe you shit. Right? Right? Now, on a moral level, they do. But yeah, that's enough of that. Let's get back to this.
Girl, substitute teacher, 5 children. And okay, I got it all. What kind of man are you looking for?
I'm looking for a man that's genuine. And I'm 5'9", so he needs to be taller than me. And he doesn't have to be 6 figures, but somewhere, the nice 70s and on would be nice. Put our income together. A believer, definitely got a spiritual side. It doesn't have to be the religious side where we're going to church and reading the Bible, but he definitely needs to be led by a spiritual side, God. And that's about it.
Okay. What are your deal breakers?
Lying. If you already got a woman, that's a deal breaker. If you got a wife, that's a real deal breaker. Just weirdos, meaning like you just be doing weird stuff for no reason. Like it don't make sense. I don't want any of that, you know? Like just know who you are. Like I'm pretty open and accepting, and so just know who you are.
Know who you are. Okay. Now you look great. Does he have to look a certain way?
No, I work out a lot. I work out at least 6 days a week. I have a master's in athletic administration, so I'm really into health and
Athletic
fitness and all of that.
administration. I'm okay. I'm just curious. I'm not even trying to roast her. I'm curious. This what was that? Quantum. Was that quantum leap psychology or some shit like that? That one woman. What was it? Quantum leap. I've never heard of this degree. Athletic administration. I'm not even trying to roast her. I've just seriously never heard of this shit. I don't know what this is. Let's look at Indiana University because this is the only school. Well, UC has it, so it must be a legit degree. I've never heard of this shit. I've never heard of athletic administration. I'm just curious. I'm not trying to roast her, but I remember one I remember one woman. She was almost she got was it quantum psychology or some shit like that. That was some bullshit. I just never heard of athletic. I don't know many athletic degrees because I mean, I just don't. I don't. I never was in that realm. I was always in more like the somewhat science and tech field with biotech and network engineering and then in a more psychological world like my master's. But I never heard it. I just never heard that degree.
So I would just prefer that, you know, he had his own workout, but he doesn't have to look a certain way.
Okay. What about money? Do we got to make a certain amount of money?
Yes, what we said a little bit earlier, 75,000 and up, 6 figures would be nice, but I'm not trying to be that 6 figures, 6 feet, 6 inches. Like, you know, I'm into realistic. So yeah.
Well, you do. You kind of. I mean, you want to be taller than 5'9", right?
Definitely, yes.
And you want him to make how much?
Cause over 75,000.
I mean, which is first cousin to 6 figures. So you are saying the same thing.
Thank you for clarifying that, but yeah.
Well, no, you just said you don't want to be that, but that's exactly what you're requesting, no?
Well, 75,000 is not 6 figures.
I feel like people say 75K because they know if they say 100K, they're gonna get attacked. So now women don't say 100K no more. They say 75K.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, at the end of the day, money matters. He has to make a certain amount of money. Okay.
Yes. I mean, I'm really not. I've never been the money type of girl. Like, if he comes with everything else and he has a job, he's steady, he's a hard worker, he takes care of me with what he got, like we work together, I'll really work with it. Like, you know, and he has dreams and goals and he's trying to go somewhere. I'm good with stuff like that. Character comes before money for me.
Character comes before money for you. Okay, fair enough.
Yes.
Let's do the Kendra Cam.
Oh, okay. Let me step out. Hold up. Wait a minute. Let me know if you're...
Well, let's see this body. Okay. You look great. You look great. So what, I ain't never seen somebody want to do the Kendra Cam for a long
She's
time.
54.
Different age.
She was good, great for 54.
I couldn't see if you could see me or not. I'm out
Girl,
there. I
we can
couldn't
see that body, girl.
She was
You
great
know
for
you
54.
look good,
okay.
girl. Shoot, some
Okay,
people be running from the Kendra Cam. You over here like, which angle do you want? Okay.
Thank you, Kendra. Appreciate it.
Vanessa, what's the age range you would date?
45 to 62.
Okay, so you go younger, 45 to 62.
Yeah, the younger, but I had so many that were like 30s calling me after the last time I was on your show. And I don't know if you asked if he can have kids. His kids need to be grown or almost grown.
So what's the youngest?
Like 15, something like that.
10th grade.
Yeah, about 15,
What is
16,
that?
17.
15?
Yeah.
14?
Yes.
Okay, 15 or 14
Oh,
is the
you know
youngest
what?
your child.
I've been meaning to talk about this. I've been meaning to post pictures, right? So, an old friend, Czech girl, right? For those of you who come here and visited me, I'm pretty sure I showed you pictures of the before and after, right? Because she used to bring down like a girlfriend of hers for threesomes, right? But the thing was, I quit having threesomes because she got too fat, right? The friend of mine, she can actually speak English. She just kept gaining weight, and she'll write in text messages, goes, "Window, I'm fat," right? She's open about it, right? She got fat. Because the last time we talked, she said, okay, get this. This is why I tell you guys, like, see, women, it doesn't matter if she's a 2, there's a pool full of 2s and below men who will do anything for her pussy, right? So, this girl I'm talking about, I'm trying to just speak so I don't say her name. You know, her name's a very common name. You probably never find her. It's just out of respect, right? When we talk, she has men from all around the world. She's, I think, 42 now. She's always like 5 or 6 years older than me. She's like 42, 43, something like that. But she's gotten fat, like, to the point where, like, I just rejected her sexually years ago. But we still stayed cool. She's still fun to talk to, right? Which is rare. Well, I could piece together why, but that's, if somebody's interested, I'll explain that. But so she has a daughter, mixed girl. She has a kid with a black dude from America, right? Well, I'll come back to that because that's where the story's headed. Was her and her daughter. She has a guy in North America. I was gonna say what state, but that might be a little too identifying. She has a guy in North. She sends me the pictures of all these guys, right? She has a guy in North America. This is a black dude. He flew her out, right? He flew her out to come visiting, right? And she's been out there before. And remember, this bitch is a good at this point. She's because she's short, but she's got to be going on about 250. She done got big, right? And she still got men flying her out, right? And so she's been out there previously, right? But she went out there this last time, and she goes, "Wendell, I'm just so mad because we didn't go anywhere. We didn't go. He didn't even speak to me. We just stayed inside all day. We didn't go anywhere." I say, but because okay, he didn't take you out because he was embarrassed because you got fat. Like, no, that's not it, because he doesn't have a problem with being fat. He doesn't have a problem. He just didn't go out. No, that's what. Why didn't he want to take you anywhere? I had to break it down to her, yeah, because she got fat, right? That's what it is. If she had showed up there, if she had showed up there $120, he'd have been showing that bitch off all around the goddamn site. Like, look at my European bitch with an accent, right? But he kept her in the house. Right? Fucked her a couple times and kept her in the house. He didn't want to be seen with her because it was the context, right? She's coming from Europe. She's getting being flown in from Europe, and you walk in the door, you can't even fit through the front door. Like, you're fucking gross. Now, he may not have a problem being with fat bitches, right? But it's the context, right? Now, had he met the bitch at the bar, it probably would have been a little better. But this bitch just flew in from Europe, and she's that fat, right? It was the context that was off. You see what I'm saying? Like, but anyway, because we've been friends for years, and I remember because I used to live up there where she lives, and I strictly don't fuck with kids, right? I don't want to be anywhere in a room with them if I don't have to be. It still boggles my mind that motherfuckers like seriously be trying to like molest kids. Like motherfuckers be wanting to be around kids in general. It just baffles me. Like, get this motherfucker away from me. Like, I could deal with my son, but that's about it. And even then, when he start getting them crying modes, like, you go to mommy, I ain't dealing with this. So motherfuckers be out there be kidnapping motherfuckers. Like, look, a motherfucker who will kidnap a kid does not need to go to jail. A motherfucker who kidnaps a kid needs to go to an insane asylum. Why the fuck? This is not prison. You are crazy for wanting to be around a kid, right? So I remember Anyway, a friend of mine, she has a daughter. And I've known her since the daughter was small. So the daughter, she knows my name, everything. Like it's weird how some kids can just remember you forever, and they've only seen you like a handful of times. And she's one of that for me. So she always asks about Wendell, blah 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 blah. But when she was younger, the friend of mine, she had to do something for work, and she wanted to know if her daughter could come stay with me at my flat while she went off and did something. I said no. I said no. Hey, what you not doing anything? You're just sitting there and playing the video games. You're talking like Luigi and shit. I just thought of that. She sounded like Luigi. Hey, Mario, what are you doing? I got to go get the Koopa. That's how she talks. Like, but I got to go. But what are you doing? What are you doing? You drinking? You playing the game? What are you doing? What are you doing? I said no, because I don't want to be anywhere near that. Because look. Especially coming from North. Oh, look, because here's the reality. All that little girl has to say is, I looked at her a little funny or something like that, and like that, I'm a child molester, dude. Don't go nowhere near me with this little girl, right? But here's the weird part. This ain't even weird. It's just like crazy because I'm watching it through with a friend, right? Her daughter's grown now. Her daughter's grown, and her daughter's gorgeous. Like. She damn near she's like on the line. She's a little thick, but she's like model material. Not even like fat. I'm talking like black girl thick. She's not like fat, but she's like black girl thick, like hot thick, but she's like light skin. Like she's like in America, she would have any pick a man that she wanted. North America. She would just have to just go. And that's it. And that's it. And she just have him, right? But she was always a cunt. She always had a fucking attitude. So I think that might ruin her chances in Europe. But her daughter was always a cunt. She always was. And I remember, because get this, so to shed more light on the conversation that we would all have, right? I'd be on the phone with her mama talking with my friend, and her daughter would be in the room, and I could hear her daughter, because her daughter can speak English, and she go, "I'm gonna tell Wendell." And she goes, Kate, well, it's her name, Kate. Kate goes, what are you going to tell him? and she goes, Wendell, she thinks that I'm embarrassed about my dildos. Like her daughter, because her daughter was going to tell me that her mama had dildos, and she thought it would be embarrassing for her mother. And I think she wanted something, I don't know, but like, this is just one example why I always stress it. Like sex to women is like nothing. It's like, it's like a back massage. Men do that. Women, when they're in their comfort zone, they don't care about any sex is just nothing more than a hit of a joint to them. It's nothing. Men are the ones who set laws and regulations. And I'm not saying I advocate, fucking, women, children, or anything like that. That's totally not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is like their conversations are like ridiculous. But that was just one I could think of now, because she's gonna tell me that her mom had dildos and that she found them. I forget why I even started that rant. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, but her daughter, because she went to Mexico. She flies everywhere. Has no money. I don't know how she's getting this money. She has no money. She's living in a flat that her mom owns. I don't think she even pays her rent on the flat. Or she does. She pays her mother like $100 a month or something. And she still has men like flying her out, going here, eating food. She's posting pictures on Facebook with her daughter out. And and then I just seen the one picture on Facebook she posted with, because her daughter's taller than her. And I said, wow, that's fucking crazy. Because she's all like short and fat, and her daughter's like a fucking she's an American fucking 12 out of 10 now. It's just weird to see it. It's just weird. It's just because I've witnessed it now. I've legitimately lived through and witnessed her grow up and then her mother grow out, kind of thing. You can't risk it, especially you're a black man living in a predominantly white. Oh yeah, no, yeah. All a girl has to do is say I looked at her a little weird, or just get a little weird if I come in the room, and that's it. I'm done. That's how it plays out.
Can be. What was your last relationship, Vanessa?
About 6 months ago. It was a mini relationship.
A mini relationship. Okay. You don't have to answer. You don't have to answer, but I'm gonna ask. When's the last
It
time?
was 6 months ago.
6 months ago. Okay, 6 months.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So Vanessa, what are 3 flaws you have to work on?
3 things I have to work on is not being more patient, not seeing everything as a red flag and ready to take off, and giving people like the opportunity. Like sometimes I don't even give them the opportunity. So I need to work on that, because I think that sometimes when you're single for a while, even if it's a mini relationship, you get really comfortable in your singleness and you don't realize you're doing little things that are going to keep you single. So I just need to give them more of a fair chance.
Fair enough. Okay.
Here's another area that I did want to touch on too, is so now I classify myself as not being as I classify myself as living in the future now, right? And what I mean is when you're like 16, 17, 18, on up to like 25, you're always like a part of you is always kind of living like hoping that you can make a better future kind of thing. Because it's the future to be 40 when you're like 25. It's the future to be, 40 when you're fucking like 21 or some shit like that, right? That's the future. So you're always kind of like living in this perspective of like, what am I going to be at 40? What am I going to be at 35? What am I going to be at 45? That type of thing, right? Because it's and it's right, a deservedly, foreign future, with some type of hope, right? But I think in reality, many people get stuck in that for the rest of their lives, right? Just like the cock carousel. I think, and this just isn't with women, with men too. I think a lot of people get stuck in the whole like, the future is still 20 years from now. Like, so what I mean by I live in the future is like I just accept that I'm here. I just accept it. Like I'm here. I'm 38. It is what it is. Now, if there's a problem with me, yeah, I can work on trying to fix it, but I'm me. I'm here, right? And I think a lot of people, if you really, I can't really tell with her, but I think with a lot of people, if you really break it down, like they're kind of always, because 40's the new 23. Like, no, bro, 40 is 40, bro. 40 is 40. 50 is 50. 50, you know what they say? 50 is the new 35. Like, no. No, you 50. You 60. Whatever the fuck. I'm 40. I'm 38. 38 is not the new 22, 23. No, I'm 30. 38 is 38. Ain't new nothing. That's why it's a difference between 38 and 22. Because they're not the same thing. All right. Now, with that being said, I think you can still fix yourself and work on yourself. But this like subconscious backing of like, oh, well, like 20 years, that's when I'll really grow up, right? Like I'll really grow up in 20 years. I'll really grow up in 10 years. I'll really grow up. Some people never grow out of that shit and they kind of keep that rotation going, man. My thing is just own it. Like with whores and hookers. As long as they own it, I love whores and I think they're great. I think they're great people. Right? For what they do, as long as they realize their position, I think they're fucking great. When people try to pull this whole Lana Rose of like, oh, well, you gotta understand, and then you could go to X videos and watch her say, thank you, daddy, when she drinks a bowl of her own piss for him. Like, see, them bitches get like, she's a piece of shit. I don't fucking like Lana Rose. I don't ever want to be in the same room with somebody like that because I don't like her. Period. Right? Because he just not own it. Now, there was one porn star, I forget one, they interviewed her. And I loved her porn. But then when I read her interview, this was years ago. What was her name? She did an interview, and she just called it what it was. She goes, look, we're prostitutes. We just fuck on camera. And she knew her position, and that made me love her even more. What was her name? It was like Chloe. What was her name? Oh, shit. I can't think of her name. I keep wanting to say that one bitch, the one girl, but that's an actress. Her name was... Fuck. fuck. Hang on, let me think, because I almost had it. Hang on. Chloe Nicole. That's it. Because she has a few different names. That was her. Let me see if I could find. Let me see if I can find Chloe Nicole interview. Because I read it and I was like, that was some real shit. Oh fuck, hang on. Let me let's do this. Cause she called it exactly how it was. Cause I don't know what's gonna pop up. If she was she admits to being a like if she just owns it, I think she's fucking great for that. Let's see. I'm reading one of her interviews now. Hang on, business now, October '95, because she's older. Look what she was charging. Yeah, here. Look at what she was charging back then in the '90s. She was charging $200 as a porn star for anal. Well, you guys probably can't read it, but it's gonna be, yeah. You guys can't read this because it's probably too small on the screen. But yeah, that shit was like. But she just admits to being a hooker, and I loved it. She said, "Yeah, we're just call it what it is. We're prostitutes on camera." Fucking loved it. I think it's great. If she just owns her position in it, I think whores are great. I think they're fucking amazing. It was when they try to like play this whole bullshit, victim role, or like when was it Sasha Grey went on Tyra Banks and Tyra Banks was pretty much just hating on her, the kind of thing, because Sasha was completely happy with what she did, and Tyra was like, how could you, and Sasha was just chill like, yep, I do it. Like, I think Sasha Grey's fucking great. I follow her on Instagram for some years after when I found her on Instagram randomly, because I can never remember her name. Sasha Grey was one of the first porn stars that I could continually rely on her being like filthy in porn, right? Like letting spit fly everywhere, shit like that. Like Belladonna was my first one. Belladonna was my first. I didn't even know her name. I just remember what she looked like. Belladonna was the first. I think Sasha Grey, as far as like big name, relatively speaking, big name people, Sasha Grey was in the first of people I can like look for her and know that's gonna be a good scene kind of thing like that. Sasha Grey. Even though she's a little skinny, but yeah, Sasha Grey. What do you think online dating would be like for black men in Czech? Here's the thing, man. It's okay, because there's a few guys who visited me that were black, and they said they was having hard times in online dating, but they would end up finding women like in real life. They wouldn't, they would find them like in a coffee shop or something like that. But online dating, I'm bad with that, because I just kind of missed the whole period. Because over the last few years, it's been all about like promoting Instagram and all this shit like that. I mean, yeah, promoting Instagram and online dating shit like that. So when it comes to online, you gotta remember like while yes they do have online dating out here, but at the same time, like it's definitely not. It's here. Online dating is still seen, in my opinion, I think it's still seen as a bit awkward. I think being social and out is still like number one, like how it used to be in North America before online dating. Like being social and out was the preferred way. At online dating, like in the early 2000s, was just for like weirdos or people in really specific situations, something like that. In the early 2000s, in the U.S. That's what it was like there. But I think now in America, it's become the only way to even interact, because how America's built, you have to drive everywhere. There's no place you can just walk and just go see people. nothing like that in the vast majority of North America. So the only way people have to communicate is through, unless they're going to a university or they're working a job that has a lot of people coming in and out. Most people just aren't coming across people like that. So I think online dating really filled that gap and took up even more of the gap because the ease of it. But out here, not so much. Online dating, it still is a thing. But you can always tell. I think you can always kind of tell, especially when somebody's out on a date who's in online dating, because they're just two super awkward people. You can tell they never met, kind of thing. But to answer your question, online dating over here, yeah, okay, I'll say this. There's a good chance that at least give it some time, and you'll have more matches. I'd say in the first month than you ever had in total in North America, if you're in the U.S. Like I said, for me, I had more matches the first month I came here than I had ever experienced my whole time in online dating in North America. When I went to Argentina, that was when I first noticed, like, wow, you mean like I can actually be desirable in some kind of way where somebody swiped right on me, right? It was really a weird thing for me, really weird, man. And like I said, when I came to Europe, I was slow. Like my friends, they were all getting matches as soon as we got here, and it took me about 2 weeks. And then after the 2 weeks, I think maybe I got pushed to the bottom of the pile or something. But after 2 weeks, then I started having like, you have 7 matches hidden, and you got 5 matches that you can actually talk to, and you can actually scroll over on Tinder and see more people. I didn't even know you can do that. Yeah. Sarah Videla. I tell you what, Javi. Here's the thing. I love Sarah Vandella's look, but okay, it's just a personal thing. Like I really do. I love Sarah Vandella. I love Sarah Vandella. She has this almost like a cheerleader, high school cheerleader, poshy kind of look, natural look in her face, kind of thing. I love Sarah Vandella, but something about her just kind of seems a bit cunty, and not in a good way. I've jacked off to Sarah Vandella, but like at the same time, like some part of her is just like weirdly holding on to an ego or something. I don't know what it is. And maybe she just has a resting bitch face. I don't know, because I've jacked off to Sarah Vandella. She's definitely up there for me, but like something about her just seems cunty. Just seems a bit cunty. Maybe in her older videos, but I love how she looks. I love like the facial structure. It's almost kind of like that weird, almost kind of like that Tina Fey kind of thing where like it's hot, but then like something's just like a little off, but it's still hot kind of thing. Like it's not like perfect. Like, but like it's kind of like Tina Fey. Like I think Tina Fey is hot, but like the lab, like something like not like it's not like you can see like something's not perfect, but it's still like my type kind of thing, which kind of makes it hotter in its weird way, depending on how you feel that day, kind of thing. Angela White, yeah. Men really want burning, genuine desire, and the app has an interesting way of garnering that. Word out. Sasha Grey, yeah. Yeah. Like, Sasha Grey was definitely, like, she was one of the few that, because you gotta remember, back in these days, at least for me, I've always been bad with remembering names anyway. But back then, like porn was like video game. I say porn and video games were like about in the same boat. Like if you were to openly talk about liking this stuff, you were automatically considered weird and a nerd or whatever, you know what I mean? Something like that. Whereas like now, well, I think porn is still in that taboo area. Like if you're in the workforce, and most people are still kind of shy to talk about it, but porn is like the Marvel MCU, the Marvel universe. Like it's hit mainstream type of thing, so it's just like everywhere. But back in those years, at least for me, I like to remember any porn star's name was like they must have done something really good that I liked, kind of thing, or just looked really good in something that I liked. But nowadays, it's just nowadays, anybody can just do it OnlyFans and take off or whatever, right? It was just different times. Like I said, the comic book universe, video games. If you were to talk about Spider-Man 20 years ago, motherfuckers would damn near laugh at you, unless you found like that one cool dude who was like, oh yeah, I fuck with Spider-Man and all that. But they would have to say it like they didn't really have the confidence, but they were trying to sound cool with it, But now it's everywhere, you know. It's everywhere now. Women found out money can be made with it, so now they like it. You know, they didn't like it before. Speaking of women liking stuff, my girl, she loves Transformers. She loves Transformers. But she loves the Michael Bay Transformers, which I don't like. She likes the Michael Bay. I don't like Michael Bay's Transformers. It's not that I don't like Michael Bay's Transformers. I don't like the humans in the movie. We just had this conversation like about a week ago. I said, if they had just like, I wonder, I'm sure somebody on the internet has done this where they just completely cut out all the human parts and just put the Transformers in it. I would love to watch a movie like it was if it was a movie just on Cybertron. I'd watch that in a heartbeat. Put these motherfuckers on. I don't want to see any humans. None. Just put you name this motherfucker Transformers or put Transformers in it. That's it. I don't want to see anything else. No other life form needs to be in this motherfucker. Transformers. But she loves Transformers. But we had a conversation, and it was kind of a, you know, most conversations are easy for me, but it's kind of hard. I can understand for other people. Because her father, she didn't know her father, and her father died when she was young. And I told her, I remember I was dating this Asian girl, the one I've mentioned on here. I met her on OkCupid when I was in Argentina. She messaged me on OkCupid. So when I got back, I had her after I had the girl in Argentina. Well, anyway, the Asian girl who introduced me to real sushi, not like basic sushi rolls and nigiri or whatever that is, but like real sushi, like fucking like real. There's a difference between like bullshit sushi you get just to look like you rich and real sushi. Real sushi, I don't think I could probably eat now, right? I can eat bullshit sushi, like a sushi roll or like the nigiri, whatever that is. I can eat all that. Sashimi, I can eat sashimi. But real sushi, let me see if I can find real. She took me to a real sushi restaurant, and I couldn't eat. I couldn't eat anything. See, this is more like when I say real sushi. See, like this is like bullshit sushi. It's good sushi. I'll eat this all day. I would eat this right now if it was in front of me. I love it, but this is not real sushi. She took me to a real. This is dressed up, perfect. She took me to a real sushi where I couldn't eat anything. I just couldn't eat it. I don't even know how to really. I don't even know what it was. Yeah, because see, this is that perfect shit. I'm not talking about this. I don't even know how to fuck. See, this is sashimi right here. Yeah, because it's just the raw fish. I can eat that. Sashimi's fine. God, I don't even know. Because, I mean, it was like fish I had never heard of. And it was all raw. Like, it was just, if you can't eat this because this looks... If you can't eat this because you think that looks too slimy, this is nothing. This is nothing. Real sushi is just that's a whole nother. This is technically sushi, but it's real. But anyway, I'm thinking about that Asian girl now. So the Asian girl, I remember one time we was hanging out because she loved Transformers too, and she told me why. She said because her brother loved it, and she had a friend of hers who loved Transformers movies. And she said because Peter Weller's voice, the Optimus Prime is just he has a father air about him, right? Is that the right word to use? He has a father's, like, you know, that father, that calm down, you know, that calming, like, everything will be all right. I can't do it now, but he has that calming way of talking. Everything's going to be okay, that kind of thing. And I said, you know what? I never even thought, because I had a dad, so I never thought about that. Never. In fact, I never really cared for Optimus Prime. I liked, you know, Sideswipe and all them other motherfuckers. Like, I I never even liked Optimus. I mean, he was cool. He's a semi truck. You know, a bit impractical. He'd be a fucking semi truck, and you can choose to be a fucking, Formula One race car. You're gonna choose to be this big ass, slow piece of shit. I mean, like, I thought it was a bit impractical to be a semi. These motherfuckers were tanks and jets and all this shit. And your dumb ass picked a semi truck. Like, for what? Wait, what was the reason that Optimus Prime would think, like, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm gonna choose to be a semi truck. Like, how would you even think that's a good idea? Like, why? Like, maybe it's explained somewhere. I don't know. You get ready to go up against a squadron that is full of F-16s and tanks, and you roll up, with a cab. Just, motherfucker, you hit 0 to 60 in about 15 seconds. Like, why would you pick that? That's not smart. Like, these motherfuckers, here you come. Motherfucker, you hit about 0 to 60 in about 9 seconds and shit. They done destroyed the city before you showed up. You just showed up, I was like, what's going on? Motherfucker, they already destroyed this shit, you slow bitch. Everybody done died. Bumblebee, all the motherfuckers, they dead. And here you come. Jack breaking and shit. What's the deal, Bumblebee? Bumblebee's dead. It took you 3 hours to get here, Optimus. You picked a dumb fucking Transformer to choose. Oh, yeah, that Deadpool trailer was hot. That Deadpool trailer was gangster. That was hot. He said he's MCU Jesus. That was hot shit. That was hot. I think there's a second trailer. I haven't watched that yet. But I seen the first one when it came out, and I ran to my girl and I showed her. I said, "Look." that was hot. I was actually excited. Because I wasn't excited over the first one. Was it 2 movies? I think it was 2 movies before. Or was it 1? I can't remember. Was it 1 or 2 Deadpools before? I can't remember. But, I mean, it was good. I liked it. But this one I was pretty excited for. Do you believe man should go down in looks of a woman in order to go up and her being more cooperative? Well, yeah, Kevin, I think there's songs that are even about that where men say, like, if you want a woman to act right, like something like date a ugly woman or something like that. But these were back in the days where women were a bit more aware of their position. Nowadays it's just gone haywire. It's gone absolutely bonkers at what I'm seeing over here. Like, there's so many reasons why I feel sorry for people living in America right now. Outside of the ability to get education and shit like that and technology, outside of that, like the ability to get technology, which is inevitably lead to education. Outside of that realm, like I'm hearing about prices of food and all this. My dad's telling me stories. They done got rid of dollar menu everywhere in North America, and they charging how much for a McChicken now? I was like, I just wouldn't eat out. Like, I'm hearing all these stories about rent and price of food, all this shit in the U.S., and I'm just like, dude, I'm glad I'm not fucking around out there. That's rough. That is rough. I'm so glad I ain't living out there right now with the price of everything. I couldn't imagine doing that shit with a kid, man. And I'm not trying to do this to, like, say this to, like, I don't want anybody to feel bad who maybe has kids in North America, but, like, with my first child, like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine living in the U.S. I remember I was talking to this one girl. She had a kid, and her kid was a lot older though, and she said, yeah, she gave birth and went back to work like 2 weeks later. I'm like, yo, I couldn't even imagine Esmeralda going back to work 2 weeks after she gave birth. I couldn't even imagine that shit. Like her going back to work 2 weeks after she gave birth, a month, 2 months. She's got maternity leave out here. Right? But I couldn't. Now, it was a pain to get that shit up and going, but we got it up and going. I'm not going to make it sound like it was all easy. Especially when you're dealing with other motherfuckers in different languages. But I couldn't imagine being under that stress of her having to get up and go back to work with a small child like that. I just can't even imagine it because I haven't gone through it. All I know is having maternity leave. So one of us is always around, right? Usually it's going to be her because he always wants mommy. He's just in that phase. But when she does want a break, I can take him and go on a train, go somewhere and with him on a trip and just give her a break. She can get a break. One of us is always around the clock, right? I couldn't even imagine that not having that. And rating on you talk about daycare and all that shit like that. I just couldn't imagine it. I can't imagine it. That's not saying, I mean, anything could happen. Who knows? Something might happen. I might end up doing it over here for some reason. Like, end up in a situation similar to the U.S. You never know. Life's not permanent. If your girl wanted to move back to the U.S., would you be down? She doesn't want to. We've already talked about it, which I don't blame her. But if she wanted to, I would have to say no. I would have to say raise him here somewhere, outside of the West, even Western Europe. I would say stay. Czech Republic is about the best that I know of in terms of raising children, in terms of many things. Now the Czech culture can be cold as fuck, but the positives definitely outweigh the negatives. If she wanted to move to America with him as young like this, I would have to say no. I wouldn't be down for that. I wouldn't be down for that at all. Nope. With the cost of everything there, that would make things immensely worse. With the cost of daycare, food. I seen what they paying for baby formula out there. That shit's fucking ridiculous compared to here. A box of baby formula here would be about $8 a week. It'd be about $8 a week for baby formula. He's going on 2 now. Wait, what's this, March? Yeah, a few months will be 2. So he's drinking about a box a week. Well, I think he's starting to get tired of the milk. Coincidentally, after I just bought like fucking 50 boxes of it at half off. now he just don't drink milk at night anymore. But before that sale, it was about $8 a week. After the sale, it's been about $4. It was half off, so it's $4 a week for that. Diapers for about, I think it's 36 diapers are about, a pack of 36 diapers are 169 crowns, which should be about $7-8 for a bag of diapers, not the whole box. Then that lasts about a week, maybe a week or two. 36, I don't know, maybe a week and a half. I haven't kept track of the diapers at all. Baby food, I told you I eat the baby food. If he don't finish it, give it to me. Mix some salt and oil with that bitch. I eat that shit. But the baby food would be about $1.50. No, I think I might have a can. Because we don't even be feeding baby food like that anymore. But hang on. Yeah, so we don't have any baby food anymore in there right now. But here's one of his bottles, which is getting cloudy inside. It's about, so this is an apple mouse, right? I would say a baby food's about that tall. This apple mouse, this baby food is about the size of this. And about $1.50. You can get expensive baby foods, but I don't think that many people really buy it. But he don't even eat the baby food like that anymore anyway. He really just, we just end up cooking for him. Like, just cut up some spaghetti, mix it with some type of sauce we made, and feed him that. What he loves is my beef soup. Whenever I make some beef soup, or cook some beef in a crock pot and just give him the soup, he loves that. He's always loved beef, even in the baby food form. That beef and potato mix, he always ate the beef. You never had a problem with him eating beef. Beef, he loves that. Everything else, he'll get in and out of, like it sometimes and not like it. But yeah, man, with the prices of food in the I raising a child there, I can't even imagine doing that. Do you think Wolverine was a simp for Jane? I'm drawing a blank on Jane. Are you familiar with Sienna West? Why does that name sound familiar? Yeah, yes, I do, but that name sounds familiar. Let's see. I don't remember this face. She looks like Kendra Lust though. Well, she got some Botox in that. She looks awful now. If that's her. But she looks like Kendra Lust from what I'm seeing. Like a weird like a slightly different verb, but she looks like a Kendra Lust type. I think certain things black people can't drink and eat. Well, milk is one thing. I can eat a little bit of milk. I'm trying to think. Oh, you mean like sushi maybe? Yeah, like with the sushi, like the real sushi, that was horrible. Like I just couldn't eat it at all. Because the Asian girl I was in, she would tell me stories how she would grow up with like chickens and monkeys and in the house kind of thing. And she would just tell me like all these real I don't think she was lying. She was telling me some legit stories about if she lied, she did a good job lying because it was definitely believable. Because yeah, see, this is sashimi. This is still like to me. This is edible. I can eat that. Is that a fish head? Yeah, that's a fish head. Like I told you when I was with that Russian family, that's a fish head sitting up there. I was with that Russian family. They put a fish head in the middle of the table. But yeah, I don't know how to find like the real sushi. Like it's like some shellfish shit. Let me try that. Let me try to type it in. Yeah, I have no idea how. I don't even know what that was. Yeah, those are fish heads on the table right there. That's what the Russian family did, but they didn't have it like on sushi. But I remember that time we had pineapple pizza with the Russian family I was living with, and we had dinner and they put like fish heads like all in the middle of the table. Oh yeah, they got fish heads in that right there. But yeah, I don't know where to find the real. I have no idea what to even type in. Because they just keep showing like the basic American looking shit. Because what I had was not American sushi. That was just like authentic. And she ate all of it. She was like, she ate it all like it was nothing. I couldn't eat that shit. I thought I was gangster. I wasn't that gangster. But you know what I just ate yesterday? Chicken neck. Because I never had chicken necks. And I was walking to the grocery store. And actually, I was getting ready to head out. And I just walked back to see if there's anything else I might want. And I just happened to look and I seen what was in Czech. And it said chicken necks. Like, Kruže Kirk. I was like, that's what that is? It was a chicken necks. And they'd be about like that big, that skinny. I was like, I'll try that. It was like $1.50, dude. It was like a pack of them, right? Like a big pack of them. It was like half a kilogram for like $1.50. So yeah, fuck, I'll try it. You know what I mean? Take it home to see what it's like. It was good, but it's not a lot of meat on them, man. You're not gonna make a whole meal out of chicken necks. You know what I mean? Like it's just not a lot of meat because it's just all bone. It's like you're not gonna get a lot of. I would say it'd be good for like if you want to make some homemade chicken soup. Chicken necks would be good. But if you're trying to get like a meal, no, you ain't gonna get a meal out of no chicken. You're gonna have to eat about 3 kilograms of chicken necks to get a decent amount of meal. You better off just buying chicken wings or some shit like that. You really would. Yeah, chicken neck. Yeah, let me see if let's look it up. Chicken neck. So I think I baked it at with 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 degrees Fahrenheit, for about 35 minutes. And just sprinkle some salt, pepper, and a little bit of seasoning. Like, here's the thing. You would think, yeah, this is exactly what it looked like right here. That's what it was. And it looks like cow dick or something. It looks fucking ridiculous. It didn't have this has the head on it. Mine didn't have the head on it. It looked just like that. And then you bake it, and it like shrinks a little bit because I baked it. And you would think it has a decent amount of meat on it, but it really doesn't. It's not worth it, to eat meat off of it. Like I said, for a soup, you'd be all right with it, but it's like yeah, this is what it looked like when it was done. And like I said, I baked mine, but it looked generally like that. And yeah, like you're not gonna get a meal now. Chicken hearts, you can just eat the chicken heart, and it just tastes like chicken, dude. It's just chicken. It's like the chicken necks is just chicken meat. Like it all tastes just like chicken. Aside from that typical, saying everything tastes like chicken, but this literally it's all just chicken meat. Like the hearts, you could eat the hearts, and it's like a legitimate fucking amount of meat. It's just the heart, you just eat it. But the neck, I wouldn't do it again unless I just wanted to make some chicken soup. They fried the chicken necks. That's a waste of frying, in my opinion. That is a waste. That's a waste of frying. They fried some chicken necks. You guys see that? They fried chicken neck. That is a waste. In my opinion, I think that's a complete waste of frying. Because it's just nowhere. It's just not enough meat on it. Let's look at this. Or maybe it's some different type of chicken. I don't know. Maybe it's different breeds of chicken, and they got more meat on their necks. I don't know, but no, that is a waste of time to fry it. You'd be better off just getting drumsticks, dude. You just get drumsticks. Just don't even fuck with that. It's like I say, chicken hearts, in my opinion, is worth it. Especially if it's for something cheap that's nutritious. Chicken hearts is worth it. Necks ain't worth that shit, dude. That like I said, unless you make a soup, it'd probably make a good soup. But because I bought some oxtail too. I bought some oxtail last week. Because I just replied to this woman's post on Facebook about it, talking about like what was considered like for poor people, and she wrote oxtail. And I said, yeah, it's crazy because when I ate oxtail for the first time, it was when I moved next door to a Whole Foods, and I didn't even know what oxtail was. I walked in there and I seen it, they were selling it cooked in Whole Foods, right? So I got it. It was good, but like it's same. It's not as bad as chicken necks, but it's same. It's not a lot. It's not a lot of meat on it, It's more than chicken necks, but it's still not like good enough to stand up on its own as a meal, like a chicken wing would type of thing. But the moral to the story was in America they were selling it at Whole Foods. Here they sold it for like, it's like nothing. It was selling it like to get rid of it here. Like America's kind of like turned like how lobster tail on a worldwide level, shot up in value, but oxtail depends on where you are. And how much they're gonna charge for it. Stuff like a heart, I don't think not many places on earth would ever sell a heart for an expensive price. I think it's just, unless they got like a weird, not affiliation. What's the word I'm looking for? Unless they have a weird fetish for hearts to eat. Yeah, I don't think you could probably find hearts everywhere for cheap. Because the butcher, he's always selling pig hearts. And I always wanted to try one because it's as big. Like a chicken heart is like that big, but a pig heart is like big. Like you can make a whole meal out of that motherfucker. I've been meaning to try it, and I just keep, I just either never make it there or whatever reason to like bring it home, or I'm not in the mood for that shit right now. I'll probably go get a pig heart like tomorrow from the book. No, tonight's Friday. He's closing the weekends. I'll probably get it next week. 80 oxtail, you probably was eating kangaroo tail. My family's Jamaican, so we always eat mainly Jamaican food. Word up. Real life sushi, not that commercial sushi. Yeah. That other sushi. That's commercial sushi. Asian girls are so sexy. What's great? Another thing, that one girl, she's from the Philippines. She wrote me after like 15 years. And you want to know what I did? I looked at her, and her arms had gotten like fat. She's not fat, but her arms got fat, right? And I never replied to her. And but the crazy part is that I realized like there's another realization of like how men like a lot of times like we prefer a body more than anything else. I ended up seeing a girl in Prague that looked almost just like her. How my memory was she used to look when I was with her, right? Before. And I was immediately interested, you know what I mean, like in that kind of way for her because she looked like what the Filipino girl looked when I was like 22 and dated her. Ogdale's best for making, yeah, Jen, yeah, like those, yeah, like these kind of meats are just like surrounded by bone kind of thing. It's just like 80 to 90% bone, like a little bit of meat. I think those are better used for soups. Like, yeah, because that's why I ended up making soup out of that oxtail. I ended up throwing it out because just never finished it. Put it in a crock pot. But yeah, it's 10:20. I'm gonna get out of here. Do you like spicy food? Oh yeah, spicy food's great. The hard part is being in Czech Republic. I'm gonna leave after this. In Czech, when I went to that smaller town, Lisa Nut Labem, I went to that smaller town, and my Czech. And here's the weird part. I was telling my girl this. The weird part about traveling now outside of Prague is that I've been in Prague so long, I've learned enough Czech to be okay, like in the world kind of thing, which is very different in how when I came here. Of course, I didn't know any Czech, so like I would travel anywhere, I would just be completely left out of any conversation, anything that was written on a wall. I was completely in the dark. So now I can travel and I could just walk down the street and read shit and know what it means. So I went to this restaurant and speak to my waitress. And at first I started speaking to her in Czech. And I said, "You speak English?" Because she was younger. She goes, "Yeah, I speak English." "Hey, get the fuck out of here." So I asked her, I want the ribs, right? Because I always have to try. If I see ribs on a new restaurant menu, I always have to get the ribs. I don't care if they're pork or beef. When I go to a new restaurant, if I see ribs or calamari, I have to get the ribs or the calamari. This is how I am, right? So I said, yeah, but I couldn't make out. It didn't say pig. Vepshove. I can't remember Czech for. I'm always reading it and I never say it. So now I'm just kind of curious now. Oh, shit. Pork, yeah. There it is. But it's like Vjepove. I can't remember the exact spelling of it. Actually, let's try this. Yeah, there it is.
Vepřové.
Yeah, Vepřové, yeah. But it didn't have Vepřové anywhere in there. So I wasn't sure if it was like pork or beef. So I asked her, like, is it pork or beef? She goes, yeah, but it's spicy. So what I've learned over my 7 years of being here is usually when Czechs say something spicy, either it's not spicy at all, or it's the hottest goddamn thing you'll ever have in your life, right? And these ribs, luckily, were not even. It was like a low end barbecue. They were good ribs. I'm not bashing the ribs. They were good. They weren't the best, but they were good. But it wasn't even like. It was a sauce. It was like a sauce. Now, to end out, because I don't want to sound like I'm bashing Czechs by saying their food's weak, I told this story before how this is when I was living in Česká Lípa. And me, actually, the girl I was talking about earlier with her daughter, I would go out with her and we would go because she knew the people there. And she took me to one of her friends' bars. And this dude, he can speak like fluent English because he played like, these like Diablo kind of like multiplayer online games. I'm not really into those games, so I don't know much about him. But he was like on a tablet, like watching some other people play when we walked in, and it was his bar. Cool guy, great guy, and I lost track of him. I wish I could find him again. But he could speak fluent English because of these games, and it's a nice bar too. It's a modern bar, which is rare when you get outside of Prague, especially. It's rare to find like modern bars out here. And so we were cool. We were hanging out, and I seen this jar full of like salsa sitting on the table. I said, "What is that?" He goes, "Oh yeah, my friend. He likes to make salsa. He's a farmer, so he likes to make. He goes, yeah, my friend. He likes to make his salsas because he always talks like he talks like in an inflection. He likes to make salsas. Yeah, so he likes to make. My friend, he's a farmer. He likes to make sauces. What, you want to try some?" I said, yeah, sure. Like, you got to be careful because it's spicy. Like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, man. It's fucking Czech Republic. Your shit's not fucking spicy, dude. Like, so he gives me this shit. I am not exaggerating. He gave me a little bit. And he had like some bread and gave it to me on the bread. My man, as soon as I ate, you remember that scene? Oh, what cartoon was that? Where like, was that in The Simpsons when Homer put that fucking pepper and that shit hit his tongue like, ding, and he went fucking crazy. That's what that shit did. I ate it and I immediately started coughing. Like, what the fuck? And I had to go, like, I blowing my eyes watered up, my nose is running. And I had to go to the bath. I was in the bathroom. My eyes are watering thinking about it. I was in the bathroom. I'm not even joking. I'm not exaggerating, for at least 15 minutes. Blowing my nose, trying to catch my breath. Like, what the fuck was that? And I come back out there. He's sitting there eating this shit like it's fucking, like, some regular ass salsa, from a can. He did something. Yep. Asked me if I want some more. So I said, yeah, just so I could, because I thought he was probably bullshitting. Like, yeah, he's like playing with me. But like, because the girl, like, when she ate it, she said it was hot, but she was fine. I ate this shit. That shit fucked me up. I was fucked up. He said, because I asked, like, how did you make that? He goes, oh yeah, well, my friend's a farmer, and he intentionally, like, his friend was supposedly like into growing peppers, right? That was like his thing, right? So he would like, his friend supposedly, from what I remember, he said his friend would intentionally breed certain peppers together to make them hotter, kind of thing, to make the offspring hotter. I don't know how he did it, because maybe it's not my field at all, but he supposedly figured it out, and he did a damn good job at it, because that was the hottest thing I've ever had in my life. Because when I was a kid, my dad got me into hot sauces, and we would try like, hot sauces. And I'm not gonna say I tried the hottest shit on earth back then, but I tried some hot sauces, right? And that was the hottest sauce I've ever had in my life. I couldn't even open my eyes after eating that. Put it in my mouth. It was too much. But here's the thing: 95% of the time, when a Czech person tells you something spicy, it's not spicy. It's barbecue sauce. It has seasoning. Like, how do you be roasting white people on social media talking about some white people think the mayonnaise is spicy type of shit? Yeah, that's how the typical Czechs taste buds are. So I remember my girl, she loves this chicken wing restaurant. It's very small. It's a really out the way place. I don't think many people even know about it, but she took me there because she really loves these chicken wings. And she wanted to get the spicy, because I got the spicy to, because I wanted spicy. So she tries to get the spicy to keep up with me. So I said, okay, well, just in case, I'm going to get just some normal ones, just in case you can't handle it, right? So now I don't really understand, like, Czech people's taste buds with spicy foods. So I ate, and we still laugh about this to this day. I ate the chicken wings. I'm like, well, this ain't even, I mean, it's weaker than a barbecue sauce, American barbecue. It's weaker than that. It's not even as rich in taste as that. But it's good though. I'm eating it. And I look over, because I'm just killing my wings. I'm eating them, minding my own. I think it was a game on TV, and I was like just watching this soccer game and chilling. And I look over, we are at a table, right? And I'm not joking, she's like bent down at the table going, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I'm eating the same wings. What the fuck is wrong? And she over there on like wing number 1, and I'm damn near done with my wings, and she over there talking about some bent over, like, I'm talking like, you know how you sit and you like bent over at the table? She over talking about some it's just so spicy. And we still laugh about it now. Like, we still laugh about it. But here's the thing. When it comes to spicy shit, like, what I've noticed about me and my taste buds and hers is that if I like something, it's usually the complete opposite. So if I like something, she's not gonna like it. And if she likes something, I don't like it, but I can eat it. Right? Like I can eat, pretty much anything except for that real sushi I told you about earlier. I can eat mostly I can eat okay, cuz she's like my dad with like preferences. Like she she won't eat something because of ew. Like my dad's the same way. Like they won't eat something because ew kind of thing. Now I can get over the ew a lot more, a hell of a lot more than both of them combined. Um but my dad can eat spicier shit. Now she can't. Like so I'll eat something and just throw it away. Like it's fine. She'll eat it and think it's the hottest goddamn thing on earth. And I don't know what the fuck happened with her mouth. I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't get it. So when I eat something, sometimes I'll think it was spicy and give it to her and she'll be like, oh, it's fine. And then other times I'll say like, oh yeah, it ain't spicy at all here. And she just can't, she literally can't eat it kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck happened with her taste buds. I don't get, I think she has that typical Czech taste bud of like, or whatever sensor it is to taste hotness. It's like, it's flipped. Something's wrong. Like she fits that meme of like white people eating like spicy mayonnaise kind of thing. Like she fits that shit. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Again, because like I said, the other Czech guy, he made the hottest shit on earth and was eating that shit like it was water. So I just don't get it. Don't get it at all. Don't get it. My grandma used to eat pepper. That hot sauce. You got to look into going carnivore. It's the best diet for highest testosterone, low inflammation, and best sleep. Word up. Maybe I'll look into it. Try it out. Who knows? I'm gonna get out of here. It's late and I'm getting hungry because I didn't eat much today. So I'm gonna let y'all go. I got some cow neck because it's tender meat. Let me show it to you. I'm gonna cook it right now. Let me go grab out the refrigerator. So this is my cow neck. It looks just like like I told my dad I'd be eating it. He's like Esmeralda, ew, that type of shit. I'm not just saying to roast them. It's just how they are with eating. But you would never know. If I never told you this was cow neck, you would never know it was cow neck, right? It's just, you just know it because it's more tender and it's hovezi pshetny kruk bez kosti, which is the front of the cow. If I remember correctly, this translates into, this hovezi is beef. Pshetny is the front. Krk is the neck. KRK. There's no vowel. It's just all consonants. Krk. KRK. Bez means without, and kosti, if I remember, it means bones, if I remember correctly. Let's type it in just to make sure. So I'm ready to cook this right now because I'm fucking hungry. Let me type this in the translator. I'm fairly certain that's what all that means, but I could be. I'm only completely certain about 3 to 4 of these words. So I'm fairly certain that's what that's meant. That's what it means. Yeah, beef front, boneless neck. Yeah, well, bez by itself means without. Bez means without by itself. I'm here ready to cook this right now. Because it's tender. It's tender. Now, what I learned was do not put that in a crock pot because it's something doesn't come out right for my taste. Something just doesn't. Yo, peace out, TOF. See you later, man. Thanks for tuning in. Yo, hey, I'll see you, Vitor. But yeah, like with the neck, with the cow neck, I tried putting that in the crock pot. And it just didn't turn, like, that's not really, I don't care for crock pot meat. Ribs for me work good in the crock pot, but that meat just didn't. Or the rump, I just don't like the rump. And they have what's called hovezi na goulash, which is beef for soup. It's this really like horrible meat to just like try to fry up. Hovezi na goulash is like beef for soup here is like the same thing as like rib meat. Like you cannot cook that fast. If you cook it fast, it's just inedible. You just can't eat. It's just you ripping that shit off kind of thing. Now this meat you can fry it. You can just put it straight on or straight on the skillet and just cook it, and it's gonna be fairly tender. It's gonna be pretty tender. Like if you put like beef rump in baking soda, like how you leave it in there for like 20-30 minutes, some shit like that, and then cook it, rinse it off and cook it, and it'll be kind of tender if you do it right. Well, sometimes I fuck it up, but this meat, the neck is, and the neck is cheaper because it's the neck. Motherfuckers be like, ew, it's the neck, and I'm not, you know what I mean? So it's a lower, priced meat because of that fact. At least out here, I think. But yeah, that's it, man. I'm gonna get out of here because I'm getting fucking hungry. I'm starting to get weak and shake because I haven't eaten much all day. But yeah, thanks for everybody tuning. I'm gonna leave this up because since somebody asked me to leave it up, I'll leave it up, man. Because again, the reason why I kind of don't, because I feel I don't want to sound like I'm roasting military people because they don't know, right? And most of them just didn't have the kind of like interactions that I had with the white collar side of it. So a lot of times like they just won't. So, and I know I can sound like I'm roasting people which I don't mean to roast people all the time. Sometimes I do, but all the time I don't. But I'll leave this up. So you guys have a good day, evening, night, and I'll catch y'all later, man. Peace out. Turn off the mic and out.